Welcome to another episode of They Not Like Us. I'm your host, Aaron, and today we have an incredible guest, Steve Wall. Steve's mission is all about helping people unlock their potential and gain a fresh perspective on life. He combines coaching, counseling, and exercise to give his clients the tools to tackle their problems and achieve their biggest ambitions. Whether you're feeling stuck or just need that extra push to become the best version of yourself, Steve's unique approach might be the game changer you've been looking for. Before we dive into this powerful conversation, I'd like to ask a small favor. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe. It really helps the show grow and allows us to keep bringing on inspiring guests like Steve. Thanks so much for your support, and let's get started.
Hello, welcome to the Not Like Us. I'm your host, Aaron. With me today, I got a fantastic guest from all the way from South Wales, Steve Wall. Steve, welcome to the show.
Morning, how's things, Aaron?
Yeah, doing well, thanks, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Can you just tell people a little bit about yourself and what you're all about?
Right, so my name is Steve Wall. I'm 46, I'm a 90s child, and I started years ago exercising, coming from a little bit of domestic violence, a little bit of bullying, and then that pushed me into exercise, and it took me down my own journey then, bodybuilding, modelling, and took me into the fitness industry then. So 20 years down the line, plus 25 years down the line, it got me into all sorts of hobbies and movement, not so much exercise, movement. So finding people's way, including myself, because we're all learning and we all forgetting as you get older, and that's that.
Yeah, so you said about, obviously, when you're younger, a bit of bullying and stuff like that, and a bit of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
How was that as a child? That must be difficult to kind of deal with. And
Why, I might have one or two tears behind now, but I'll be right now. I'll think of BMX and remote control cars and my air guns now. Yeah, going back to where it originated from. I'm a massive fan of parent conditioning. And if my mum or dad watch this, no pun intended, but you've helped me get where I am today. So I'm not blaming anybody for what I've been through, because none of us have done parenting in school. So let's go to the early stages, age 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 or 6. So my mum was a full-blown Christian, and my dad was a typical Valley person, hard worker. After work, go down to the pub, have a pint. My mum loved my father because he looked like Elvis, and he had a maybe image attraction, if it's called that, or physical attraction. But what she didn't realise, probably they wasn't compatible once they started having kids together, which is exactly the same as a hit or miss. And it's one of them things. And I learned from my mother social anxiety, and from my father jealousy and being tight with money. And like I say, I'm just talking with what I've learned. I'm not ripping anybody off, and people can blame my parents. I'm not doing that because if I was brought up by the king queen, I wouldn't have been where I am today. Everything would have been perfect. So I just find life for me was the actual school. That's where I started learning. So being bullied in school originated from anybody, any team games, football, rugby, rounders, even if it's off-ground touch. If someone's coming run at you in the masses, I would absolutely poo myself. I would literally crawl into a ball and I'd under a rock somewhere. Exactly the same as for my father. So let's say my father's fabulous, and we're talking about different generations now, mine, okay? And so my father showed me jealousy. He might say not, but that's what I vibed from. So if you was my best friend in the schoolyard and you went off with someone else, I'd instantly have jealousy. I'd be like, what's going on there? I thought he was my friend. And then I turned too needy then, and then it just spiraled from social anxiety to being jealous and not doing anything new and not spending any money it built into over the years then. So I turned boring, which caused a lot of more things drastically. If it's anxious, if it's tiredness or depression, loneliness, disconnected, all the other stuff as well.
yeah, childhood is a funny one, because I had a really good childhood, Steve. I can't, like, my parents both worked really hard. I had none of them. I can't fault them at all, really. You know what I mean? They worked hard to give us a good life, to give us a better life than they had. That was their goal. But I still got issues from my childhood. And I think everybody does.
Yeah. I think it's not to sit on them, to learn from them, because if, like I always say, if my mum and dad were to listen to this, they'd probably worry what other people think. but they didn't realise they gave me so many experiences. Hey, we had good days, we had not so good days. But the good days were good for short, and the bad days were bad for long, because I just found back in the day, and still these days, people just hold on to the negatives maybe. And where I always say, like, when you're going through pain, have fun. So if you're going through breakup, if you like remote control cars, go and take it down Lidl's car park or stuff like that. But I find certain generations rub off in a good way, but not so much of a good way. And it just I don't find it helps our momentum mentally, physically, like.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand as well that our parents are just people. They're having
Exactly.
their,
It's
you know,
human.
yeah, they're having their own journey. They're still learning and growing through life the same as we are. And you don't grow any more than when you have a kid to deal with and to look after. It really makes you, forces you to grow in lots of different ways. And sometimes we don't do it quick enough.
Yeah.
Um, I got my daughter. She's 7 now, and
Yeah.
I wish I'd grown sooner and been able to do more. And I've still got a ways to go as well. I'm not far
Yeah.
from perfect. So I think a lot of us need to understand that as well, because it can be, and I don't want to put everybody in this bracket, but
No,
a
definitely
lot,
not.
lot of the newer people, the newer generation have a
Yeah.
bit of an entitlement thing and a bit of a blame culture where they blame
Yeah.
people. Whereas really, what we need to do is look and be like, actually, we're all
Take,
humans here. We're all trying
take
to navigate
responsibility.
life, and life
Yeah.
is rough, isn't it? It's hard. So
Yeah.
everybody's got their own challenges.
Yeah, I just think in life, and any generation, I think blaming people is the easy way out. Blaming people is just, it makes you feel better. You just offload. So if my house is a mess, I'm going to blame you. It's easier. I'll say, oh, it wasn't me. And I think that's a natural of human nature, which is fine. But if someone's not good to you or not nice to you, it means they're not in a good place. So before, I'd want to probably punch them. That sounds bad, that does, but now I understand their budgie might have died. They might have lost a baby. They might have out of work. They might I don't know, I'm got no purpose. They jealousy, friend envious. So it's just finding that thing. It is that magic which helps us along and work through it, or bypass, or avoid it, or forget about it, as I think.
Yeah, I think as well, blaming other people, it makes it not your responsibility to fix it then as well.
Oh, it's easy for, oh, I'm awesome at blaming people, and not so much badly in a day. So let's say, oh, first time in blaming, okay. And my mate Nashi, right? I tell you what, oh, he's awesome. But so back in the day, 90s, is slings, skateboards, BMXs, or rally striker. If you remember them, you're probably too young now. So what we do, so the blame would, okay, we went out with slings. We went to Army Navy shop, right? And fair play. We didn't say about my dad drinking, but my dad was always get my UPS. He'd buy me a sling, but he'd be like, "Don't tell mum, don't tell mum." So I'd have a sling and I'd under my bed. Hopefully no one will see it. Well, everybody goes under your bed, wherever, your mum and dad, or especially mum doing the things. But me and Ashley went up to the old people's home, if I can call it that, okay, up in Trialo. And there's a bird in between, and hey, we know a good shot. No one got hurt in this now, okay, right? And literally, I said, Nash, and then yeah, of course, I just pull the sling back, poof, and it's flat rock was the best rock I could find between the grasses. Went straight to the bird, and here we go. God bless, it's curved and went through the top bedroom window of his house. So it's like I shouted, and literally, as he's running, right, believe it or not, that was a therapy to get away from it. Well, we didn't realise the owner of the house phoned the police. We run into the centre of the old people's home, which is like, I can remember Goldfish, and we was hiding behind this wall. Police come, all the care workers come, and as soon as we got caught, I was poor myself. The first thing, I'm not going to say it was me. I went like, ah, and Nash, he was harder than me, right, in the day, right, and probably to the same. I went like, ah, it was him. So it doesn't matter about the consequences. The blame is such a fastest way to get out of it is phenomenal. And literally, so I just went in, I thought, he's going to beat me up now. Oh no. So blaming, I think it's good to blame in good ways. Are we still online, or it's restarted? Can you hear me? Yeah, we're there. Can't hear your voice a minute. 1 second. Let me have a look at this. Bear with me.
There you go, but no.
Are you okay? Can you got
Yeah,
me? Fab.
yeah, I can hear you.
So I think sometimes, bear with me with this, okay? When you blame, it is a source of therapy, okay? So back in the day when there's that sling scenario, like I say, no one got hurt, okay, except the window which I paid for was £12.50, and I had a bad year with the policeman, took me back home, but going back to that though, let's link her up. Going back to like back in the day, so when my dad was always away, I was probably lacking male attention, okay, as in literally. Good boy, son. Good effort. Oh, you're doing well. Obviously, smashing the windows. Not good boy. You're doing well. But every time I got in positive trouble, not hurt anybody, I didn't, not mugging people, pinching cars or doing anything. When I got in positive trouble, which is a fine line of being too naughty, the police would come, and most of the time it'd be a male. So he'd be like, "Come on, oh Steve, what are you doing this for now?" And he'd take me to my mum. I'd be like, "What?" And it was Di John, is all the top policemen in the local area. But then when he twigged my ear, there was less pain and going through domestic violence or bullying. But so it's such a different dynamics. It's phenomenal. So it all mounts together. It's like you say, it's a journey. And when you look back, or even this morning, me kicking a coffee over it's a life lesson. But my instant reaction to that would be when I kick the coffee, oh, it's all right. Before I'd want to smash up my bedroom. Why? It's always me. Do you know what I mean? So I can remember there's another story. Sorry about this, I'll talk about everything now. Tell me if I'm tuning your ears off too much. So we
Oh
go
no, keep going.
Amsterdam, okay? So in couples, we go Amsterdam, all right? And on the way to Bristol Airport, we're in this transporter van, and we come off a slip road, and the Arctic lorry hits us bang on, okay? It spins us down the road, and that's all I'm doing. I'm thinking, right, if anybody comes on to me, they crush me. And every time we left, we go on like a taxi. I always say clunk, click every trip. No matter where you go, I'll tighten up my seatbelt. So if there's a crash, there's no movement, there's no excess which you can headbutt something or hurt someone, okay? So I always tighten them up. So as we're spinning around, it's Mercedes badges coming through the window now, okay? And literally one of the boys like, that's all I say. I do like a starfish position just in case the van falls on the side. And that's all I say. Rather than scream, ah, shit, whatever's going to come out of your mouth in the point of death, I just kept on saying, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry, guys. Everything, his window smashed. He's going on the side, skidding up the thing. His Arctic lorry kept going, smelled petrol. And what I found of is all that we go through, we can either hold on to it or let it go. But if you hold on to it, I would have turned into the screamer. And don't get me wrong, hey, scream your head off. If you need to scream or shout, if you hit your thumb on with an arm and you need to say the F word or the S word, whatever it is, you go for it because it reduces pain up to 1 to 5%. I don't know the statistic, but guess what? It helps. And it's a little bit of blaming. So I think swaying is blaming. So again, it's the therapy. So going back to it, all that we've been through since the day one, we are learning everything if we want to. If you take it personal, you don't literally, it'll always be something. And I find when you take things personal, it'll mount up and mount up. It's like bench press. If you say to me, Steve, going to bench press, right, okay. So let's say my first trauma was my ferret eye trigger, which is a true story. So I'm going on bench press with just 20k bar. Some people struggle, but I find it's okay. So next thing now, I go for a job interview, and the bench press, you like put 10k aside. So it's like, it's not so bad. But what you find, I find life is like bench pressing. And every time you come across something new or something personal or a challenge or problem, wherever we're adding our 1k, adding our 10k. If I kept on holding on to everything over the years, I probably would have 20 million K on my bench press. There's no way would I be able to carry that around, but mentally, my neck would be like, ah. So it's like, so I think what you got to do is sometimes get an analogy, get something which will help you let things go, wherever that is. And I mean, it could be knitting, going to church. It could be, I don't know, wearing a top. It could be, I don't know, having whatever super duper earphones, whatever you want to do. If you want to do motocross or do career change or move house, move location, buy a Spanish villa, wherever your purpose is, wherever your goal or dream is, that will help you get through whatever you're going through. And people say, oh yeah, but it's easier said than done. Oh, zip it, listen more. So what I tend to do with people or help people, you got fitness goals, personal goals, and life goals. So fitness goals, it's not worth me saying, Steve, I'm going to lose weight by next Wednesday, because I train anyway. I'm wasting my time. I found if I was doing Mr. Wales now, it'd be legs Monday, chest Tuesday, and Claire would be like, "Oh, should we go for meal Tuesday?" No, I got chest. It's so, it'd be so fixated on that. So my fitness goals will fit into place no matter what, because my lifestyle is based around myself. My career is a byproduct of what I do on a daily basis, and people just come to me for advice and support and accountability. Personal goals are a little bit different. So personal goals would be more like, right, I need to do my motorbike test. But if you're too fixated on bodybuilding, you're not going to ride a motorbike when you train legs Monday, CBT and stuff. Then there's another thing after personal goals. I think it comes of age, is life goals. So life goals for me, I wouldn't have moved house, okay, if I didn't have a life goal. If I was still a bodybuilder, I definitely wouldn't have even thought of moving. I'd be in the same house forever. I would have doing all the same things, but doing the same things all the time is monotonous. So life goals for me is buy a Spanish villa. Okay, so for me, even people say, "Oh, I'm not going to me and giving money for a Spanish villa." Oh, cool down a minute. Let's have a little think about this. All right. So what you find is that the Spanish villa might be an actual Spanish villa. Okay, so if I focus on a Spanish villa and there's vino tinto, which I don't drink, so it's called a wine, I'm sitting on it having a cup of coffee, seeing all the grapevines and all the orange trees, and I got my little mountain bike by his side, and my missus is skipping around, jumping in the pool. Off is no pool, I'll save up for one. I'll get on Klarna. But do you get me? So what I'm trying to see, you've got fitness goals, personal goals, and life goals. What you find that I tickle myself. If I never ever get a Spanish villa, okay, it gives me the up and drive, the vibe. So if I have a little argument with my missus, I say vino tinto. If, say, for example, I know the budgie dies, vino tinto. I always focus on the life goals, the personal goals, and not so much the fitness goals. I'm going to get up in the morning and do a walk and bench press anyway, and a puncher bag. So it's not worth me wasting my focus on training, because I do it anyway. I'm wasting a sentence. But if I focus on doing a motorbike test, I go book it. Now all my insecurities come out. I'm going to fail. I can't afford a motorbike. It's be too fast. So much insurance. I got to work an extra day to pay for it. And wait a minute. Stop. People will say, right, I can't afford it. All right then. Okay, so let's go to negative spend. And an average house in a Rhondda wastes 5 to 8 grand a year on crap. Chinese, smoking, vaping, drugs, alcohol, Rambo knives, you name it. You go on your Amazon account, use flip through. Pre-workout, what, a key ring with a torch on. I already got 2 in a drawer and I'm not using it. So I try to do, if anything is worth 50 pence in car boots till next year, I don't buy it. So it gives me release cash, for example, for if a clutch goes on the van. Or, I don't know, if the boys are going like to North Wales and it costs £200 for a log cabin. So again, I'm going off from how I got brought up into different therapies then. So fitness, personal, and life. And going back to, if your fitness goal is your number one thing, you do fitness. I'm not knocking anything. If your personal goal is not doing a bike test, you might say, "Oh, I'm not doing a bike test." Well, I know your personal goal might be moving street. It might be going from Shorkey to Combe Park. Your life goal might be, I don't know, create change. So it's horses for courses, really. Yeah. Sorry about tuning you off. Go on. So, but do you get? So I'm trying to use. It's called therapy, practical therapy. Wherever you go through, it could be breakup, bereavement, it could be job loss, it could be illness, it could be pre and postnatal depression or having a baby, pregnancy. Is if you keep on doing the things you love or like, which is good for your health. Let me put that on it, because a lot of people might be mugging people. It's not good for you. It might make you feel better, but as a consequence, it's not good for you. Some people might like drugs. Well, don't do it, because you're wasting your money. And the average person in a lifetime going from negative spend is probably wasting 200 to 300 grand on crap. Well, I'd rather holidays, super bikes, Rambo knives, date nights for my missus, spa weekends, change houses, vino tinto, because a vino tinto is only 150 grand. People say, I can't afford that. Well, 20 years ago, if you cut down on your Chinese and crap, that's probably 100 grand. Over the next 20 years, you cut down on your crap, not stop, cut down on your Amazon spas, another 100 grand. So that's 200 grand in your back pocket. Not literally in your bank, but if you've got a life goal, your cash or your energy is going down. So if you have an argument with your friend, vino tinto. If you have a lose your job, vino tinto. If you don't get your best PB on the bench press Monday, vino tinto. So it's look at the bigger picture. There's too many people are bullshitting themselves and blaming each other and oh, I got a bad head today. Go self-employed. No, you bad head. You'll work 14-hour shifts because you know you got vino tinto or whatever. So don't forget, I'm not telling people to buy a Spanish villa, but if I never get a Spanish villa, my vibe is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It is amazing because I wake up like peace of mind. And I go to bed saying, I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. And don't get me wrong, I still got Mr. Anxiousness, sometimes a little bit of depression or tiredness, sorry, depression. Because since I've been doing what I'm doing since the 90s, 160 people have committed suicide. I think that's magic. So people come to me and say, oh, Steve, I need to lose weight. I'm like, no, you need to start fishing, but do you get me? You need to do something that you like. So people come to me, oh, I need a nutrition plan and training plan. I think you need more of a life plan. This is a bit scary for people now. People are like, what do you mean life plan? I say, well, what's your fitness goals? Boom, boom, boom. They give me loads of answers, right? And I'm like this, which is fine. Hey, horses for courses, let's not judge because fitness goals to help other goals as well. But I say, what's your personal goals? And they're like, what do you mean? And I said, let me ask you another question. What's your life goals? What do you mean? And they just, no one had ever asked them that. And all of a sudden, they're like, I want to lose weight. They go back to what they know. So it's January the 1st, what's your goal? Oh, I want to lose weight. Well, mine is vino tinto. Mine is being a good dad. Mine is how can I look after people to see the bigger picture. Mine is I need to clean the poo off the toilet a lot more because my missus is moaning. I need to listen to my missus, otherwise the milkman's going to do it. So if I don't do the dishes and don't help out around the house, don't do the hoovering and don't do the things which my wife or my children see, I'm creating a rod for my own back long term. So wherever goal you got, if it's finance, if it's relationships, if it's career, if it's personal life, fitness, juggle it up a little bit. Don't do the same goals all the time because guess what? It gets boring. Do you understand, Aaron?
Yeah, and I think a lot of these fitness goals that people have, and the weight loss goals and stuff, they're superficial because they want them goals because they want other people to see them as doing well or looking good, and it becomes that superficial thing rather than an internal thing. And I think it's the internal thing that's the most important.
When you say superficial, what do you mean by superficial?
I mean, a lot of it is influenced by exterior stuff. So it's what other people think of them rather than what they think of themselves. It's not always all that, but I think some of it is what other people think. And I think as soon as we can remove that worrying about what other people think and start concentrating on what we need to be, to be happy and healthy, I think that shift in focus and that mindset is really important, because I've lived that life where I was more worried about what everybody else thought than what I think about myself or what I want, and I'm trying to fit in all these different boxes to please other people, being like a bit of a chameleon, really, trying to fit whoever I'm around and whatever they expect of me, rather than just going, well, I don't fit that box, and I'm not a square, I don't fit in a box, I'm more of a squiggly line that just goes everywhere, so just tough, I am who I am.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and until you own that you're different, that you don't fit, and everybody wants to put us in boxes. I mean, I do it because, like, when you meet people, it's just natural. You just, your experience with them, you say, oh, that's this type of person, this is what they do. And it happens all through school, doesn't it? They make us conform and fit into boxes, and then you go to work and you fit in a box, and our family expect us to fit in a certain box. But realistically, we're always changing and evolving, and we're not that. We're lots of different things, and it's okay to be lots of different things, and just to accept it and own it. But we're afraid to do that a lot of the time.
And I think a good thing which you pointed out there, and which I remember, let me say this to everybody, it's okay not to fit in. Let me just put that out there, because I used to struggle so much. I think most of and call anxiety, back in the 90s, it wasn't such a thing. You'd have these feelings around the body, headaches or neck or sweats or palm would get sweaty, or you'd have this fear or gut feeling, and they all got names to these now, which is fantastic. But sometimes I think we can overuse a name, focus too much on the feelings and emotions, and forget about the action of something, which will help, like, I don't know, shooting an arrow, you feel, but it's getting that confidence. And I think when you put pressure on yourself, peer pressure, when we're younger, it can stay through our life. And I just feel that when you're younger, you want friends, you want a girlfriend or boyfriend, you want to be good at riding a bike, you want to have no fear. You watch Rambo, you want to be like Rambo, but when you try and climb out a wall and you run it, then you just look like a fried egg splattered on the side. You want to jump over a garden fence, and all of a sudden your bottom's catching a fence. Rambo's didn't, and all I think it's just too much pressure, like Bruce Lee, all the superheroes. And I think sometimes we want to be like someone, even the hardest boy in the street. We want to be like a certain people, but then we don't realise they probably not the hardest boy in the street. They got the insecurity themselves. They walking around in tight tops and doing press ups, but not telling you. They grow and you shrinking because you're not doing exercise. But they grown in character and you were shrinking in character, so you look up to certain people. But it doesn't mean they're right people to look up to neither.
Yeah, and I think in the modern world with social media, it makes it worse because people will only show all the really good stuff, and they hide away all the bad stuff,
Of
and then
course
you
they
think,
do.
oh,
It's all
you just look
false.
at it, yeah, and you look at it and think everybody else is doing so much better than me. That's what
Yeah.
you're thinking, yeah, and
It's
that's
well,
what gets in your head.
well. I done this thing the other day, right? I had someone new to me, a new trooper. I don't like to say Clyde, a new trooper, a new person, new friend. Okay, because I like to get to know people. And I say, right, and I just do a little experiment. So I went on Instagram. I put personal trainer. Okay. So, pecs, arms, guns, yeah, and broccoli and chicken. I wear this, right? Okay. So I put Steve All motivation in. I go down, like, I'm walking a dog, I'm pruning my roses, I'm putting a washing out, I'm doing the dishes, I do a mountain bike ride, I'll do a little video and I'm squeaky, or I might mumble, and people might say, oh, wait a minute, I can see his love handle, but he's supposed to be personal trainer. But it's too much pressure. So if I say I bought a Lamborghini, everybody will love me but hate me at the same time. If I say I got a Fiesta diesel, is it? And it's just like, what? I'm working all weekends for this. And so what you find, it's like my son. I love my son to bits, and he's in this millennium, we could call it, fab gases. But what you find, he's watching Ferraris and this and that and the other. So if I were to buy a Fiesta diesel, which is nothing wrong with it, he'd probably, oh, nice. So if I were to buy a Ferrari, he'd be like, I'd be down now. Right, I'm going to drop everything. I'm going to have a day off work. We're going to go for it. But with my Fiesta diesel, he's not going to say that. But what I find is that social media does that. I think the word I've learned is desensitized. Maybe. Lack appreciation, maybe. Unless you really stick out and jump through a window and nearly die, people will like it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Steve, right? Like, I remember when you were doing Mr. Wales and you were doing your bodybuilding stuff, and
Yeah.
you were like, I don't know. If I can get a picture, right, I'll put it on the recording after so
Yeah.
people can see, right? But you were
Yeah.
in an incredible, incredible condition. But all the work that took to maintain to be in that
Oh,
position, you can't maintain that and still
oh.
live a happy, healthy, normal life because your life is almost pretty dedicated to that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if you, I'll send you photos. So when you have a look at the photo, I'm going to tell you behind the scenes of it. Right, okay. So one of the boys, McKay from Macclesfield, okay, lovely, turned pro car bodybuilder. With my knowledge down in Cressingerfield, he thought I already done bodybuilding because I used to be such an accountable person for everybody in the gym. Down the gym at Gifford, I had about 500 members underneath my name. And I'd be going from nutrition training to showing or explaining people how to wallpaper a bedroom. I would life it. This is back in the 90s. So when people would come to the gym, it'd be like sickness or holidays, but I'd be like, what's the matter? My dog died. So I would go into that. But then going into Quest, met this bodybuilder. And Mick said, oh, he said, I don't know anybody around this. And he'd be like, Steve. He said, can you give me a spot, mate? His shoulders be bulbing. So I go to the Smith machine, 10K aside. He'd be like, yes. I'd be like, he's weak. And he'd be like, and then he'd do 10 reps, I guess. I'd be like, I go mop a changing rooms now. But I tell you what, it's quality. But then all of a sudden, then he said, "Oh, when is your next bodybuilding show?" I said, "Oh, I haven't done a bodybuilding show." But before I said, "Yeah, I've done 10 of them. Yeah. But you're gonna get caught out when you lie. You're gonna really get, especially when he's on his 41st or 41st body." So what I done then? He said, "You should do one." He said, "You shot." So I just booked in. There's AMB, natural bodybuilding down in Porthcawl. So fab, hey, yippee, skipping home, I'm doing a bodybuilding show, yippee, telling everybody in the gym, I'm doing bodybuilding, you're looking thin, all of a sudden, well, I'm stripping fat, blah, blah, blah. Right, so the bodybuilding world is getting in shape, winning a trophy. Let me just remind us, only a £10 plastic trophy. Let me just put that, and just say, nothing wrong with that. And if you get multi-million sponsors, fabulous. I worked my titties off, pardon my French, I didn't get nothing except breakup, depressed, suicidal, no money in the bank. I couldn't put money in the car. I just about afford 30 chicken breasts a week, and I was ratted. Didn't do dishes. I was crap around the house. I wasn't a good father. And if there was a cliff in front of me on my low carb and I jump off it, that's behind the scenes, okay? But then, how's your training going, Steve? Yeah, fab, that's good. Want to see my abs? Yeah. Oh, yeah, come over here. See my tricep lines. But behind the scenes, it's hell. So when people come to me, going back to this, is I want to get people's lives in shape. I want people's lives looking like Peter Andre's stomach. Yeah? But what I find the most best shape in the gym, if I were to look at their life and have a chat to their missus and just say, "Does he do dishes in the house?" He'd be like, "Huh? No, he's training all the time." Oh, I can't talk to him about that. He'll flip out. He'll smash the room up. So what you find, yeah, fantastic, the fitness, but your personal and life goals are bombed. They are totally bombed. So it's just, hey, don't get me wrong. A bodybuilder might be, listen to this, like, no. Well, I done in the 90s. It was many coaches except myself. And one coach as well was Dorian, which was fabulous from Energetics, and straight to the point. Right? Some people don't like Dorian because he's boom straight, but he'll say, "We're going to have £7 there to lose." I'd be like, "I haven't." Hey, he's 30 years in front of me bodybuilding, so I should just listen. Mark Silcross, Mr. Wales, a couple of times, he'd be like, "No, when you do your fist, open your hands." I like, it's a bit girly. The 90s now we're talking about. Open your hands. I won Mr. Wales over 5 times. So listen to the people who've been there and done it. I really feel these days, I'm not sure it's millennials or whatever the generation is, they know everything but nothing. So they put that out on Facebook, and when people like me who've been since the 90s and they see all these personal trainers and they doing all these twisty curlies, and I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough because they've shown them my client before I show them, and then you just get wrapped up in confusion of trying to being better than people, and it's just like, no. Our social goal said back to basics, okay? And Mike Tyson always said the plan is well until you get punched in the face, but if you go back to basics, there's nothing to lose. If you make life confusing and complex and stressful, good luck on Vino Tinto. You're never going to see it. You're never going to see the bigger picture. Yeah, and people say, "Oh, I got 5 kids." Sorry, I got 2. But do you get me? That's family for babysitting. I still can't train, or I can train in the house. Oh, I can't. I haven't got an hour. No, you got a minute. So when the baby's and the bottle, you can do 2 crunches, 1 press up. What's the point in that? Do it for 40 years. I guarantee you might not have diabetes and all the other stuff and cholesterol, and your kids will see you. And your kids might end up doing cheap hobbies rather than, I know, horses, or which my daughter got. But but it's all this thing. So going back into it, so I know I'm jumping things. So going back into horses then, right? If I'm taking drugs and drinking and partying on the weekend and buying crap, my daughter definitely, I wouldn't be able to afford a horse for my daughter. And not, if I didn't exercise, I wouldn't have the confidence. And I haven't got a clue about horses like my daughter. But Dad, you'd have gone horse. Yeah. Rob said, "Oh no, it's not for me. They dangerous, a lot of money. I can't go do that now, Lex." But if I'd done that to everything new she asked me, what am I teaching her? I'm going on a horse, and if I do get thrown off, right, and get bent over a fence, I'm going to say, 10 out of 10. Hey, Neil, let's go. And so I won't be like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that again." Oh, no. but it's all a lesson. So if I show get on with it, it's okay to fail. It's okay to be crap at what you do, but do not try. Doesn't matter. And if it's riding a BMX, I can remember riding a BMX, right? Well, no, I was running with a BMX. So where my mother would say, "Oh, don't run down the hill, Steve. Don't have that BMX, it's dangerous. Don't go in now. Don't go bother Nashi now, because you'll be on his stunt pegs. The brakes are all going downhill and you go down jean shop window. There's too much fear." So if I'm going to be a parent to my children, I'm not going to be bored. I'm going to be a crazy friend. So my missus say, "Oh, Lex, be careful now, Lex." And mark out the 10 if you come off. I don't want one mind. I'd rather go into A&E. I want a good off. So if you're going to fall well. Yeah? And come on and get back on yours, get on with it. And it's just learning lessons, you know what I mean? So all that we do, if we talk and doing, I think it's learning. There's so many avenues we can go off our.
Yeah, it's I grew up in the same way. I don't know if it's a cultural thing in the valleys, but my mother and my gran and everybody are always like, "Oh, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. It's too careful." And I catch myself doing it. I have to like train myself out of it. To be fair, because I've been guilty of doing it with my daughter, but I do try and like consciously to like encourage her to do stuff and to
Yeah,
show that I'm there to support you if you need it, but you should do these things. You should try it. But
yeah.
I'll always be here if you need me kind of scenario. So like when I used to panic when she was like climbing stuff in the park or whatever. Like we've
Yeah,
got near where I live, we got like almost like a grown up park. It's like
yeah.
almost for like for older kids. And like
Awesome.
she's climbing up this like I don't know like 15-foot
You're like,
high,
ah.
20-foot high
Yeah,
up to the slide, and I used to panic like hell. But now I'm just trying. I've kind of trained myself out of it, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm here if you need me. You can do it, rather than be careful.
yeah,
It's you can do it. Yeah,
yeah,
put your foot on that one if you're struggling.
yeah, yeah,
Try and encourage it rather than
yeah.
shut it down. But yeah,
It's important to let them find their own way. I got a little story, Alexa. She had stabilizers, and I just probably me being Steve or my daughter should be able to ride jet skis, abseiling, motorbikes at the age of 2. No, it's not gonna happen. But you put too much pressure on you if you do everything as well. But it's just a little story, and it's a true story. So I call it stabilizers. So we go down to Astrid Park. It's called a melon field. And I'm working out in my head, right, she's doing this, she'll do that now. She's right, the tyres are up, the brakes are working, there's no squeak on end chains, I've oiled the chain, I've cleaned the bike, it looks perfect. And it's like, that's just doing my cup of coffee before we go stabilising riding. So you go down, I say, right, Lex, make sure you do this. I put my legs on the tyre so she doesn't go, get used to balance. And I could feel again a bit agitated. This is the best question you need to ask your little ones when you do stabilising or riding a bike. I went like this, Lex, what are you going to do to be good at this? Dad, you need to be quiet and step aside. You're talking too much. Hey. So I step aside and I give her the right down. What? Don't go on the green, don't go on the thing. There's people down there, there's dog poo over there, blah, blah, blah. There's a jagged fence at the bottom of the football field. Dad, stop. I need if I said anything else, she probably just swore. This is age like 8, 9 now, okay? So I was like, yes. So my heart was, it's like, I'll do it. I'll do it for her. But she's not learning. She goes off down the tarmac road and then she does this straight onto the football pitch. I'm thinking, oh no, maybe she's going to go through dog poo. She's going to cut up the field. The football coach is going to penalise me. Blah. And all these fears. And I tell her what, zigzagging. Dad, how do I stop? Just keep going, babes. Aim for the fence. So I turned on to a parent. I turned into a crazy friend. Just keep pedaling, Lex. Aim for the fence. Press the brakes, get your feet out. And so I think what I've learned, even when people come to me, let them do what they want. I can give them a nutrition plan and training plan. I will be accountability, but if I'm right then, 200 grams of protein, you got 250 grams of carbs, make sure they're slow sugars, 8 hours kept, 2 litres of water, and you do nothing for 12 weeks. It's like, what? And so what I do now, when people come to me, I going back to like the stabilizer phase, is that I don't parent people. Because if you're an hairdresser, you're going to judge me by my haircut. If you're an English teacher, you're going to judge me by my punctuality. The full stop sort. Yeah, so I think we can condition wherever we are by our career. I just turns boring. I'm not a personal trainer, life coach, my missus in the house, or my daughter. I'm 90s Steve. I'm crazy Steve. So I would be, oh, you're mad. I'm not mad or crazy. It's not that, because I don't really care if I break an arm, if I'm going to go and jump a wall. I really don't care, because normally I haven't. I have now and again, but I haven't most of the time. And I think it's a life lesson. So if you're going to a wedding, I'm a first one off, first one on dance, or last one off, and I dance so crap, I look good. I really don't care. So someone give me a jet ski and I'd go over, right, what's the start button? Right, okay, do I need a life jacket? I'm not going to swim in it. Yeah, go. So I'm just going to press turbo, supercharge, and the my jet ski. That is where the fun is. Shouting F-U-C-K going across. Do you get it? It's like, ah! But when you have that fun, I don't focus on my exos, me settee. I don't focus on Alexa coming off. I don't focus on coming out to school with no qualification. I don't focus on not being asked to be in goals when I was in junior schools, and all this other traumatic life experience and lessons which you forget about. So I sit on a settee for 46 years. I'd be depressed, suicidal. I'd be definitely 3 or 4 stone heavier. Definitely. Because I said most bars of chocolate I've had in one day is 22 bars of chocolate after Mr. Wills. I may as well have had 22 bars of chocolate over the 12 weeks. It wouldn't affect me as long as I keep to the plan. And I think you just got to find a system. And the system is doing what you think works. Or Bob down the road, not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Learn from people. Take what you think you can relate to. But I don't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Definitely not. I won't mind his money, but yeah. So it's just it's being you. It's finding you.
Yeah, and it's finding that balance in your own life, in it, that, like I
Of
say,
course,
what
right.
works for you. Like I say, your fitness goals, your life goals, and everything, and balancing it all out together.
Yeah,
It's good, and that looks different for everyone. But we try and say that everybody has to fit in the same box, don't we? Like you say,
yeah,
with the personal training and like the stuff that you see online, it's
yeah,
all, oh no, you know, you have to have your macros right. You have to do resistance training 3 times a week. You have to do your cardio. You have to get this right, that right. You know, to
yeah,
get lean, and you have to you have to have your body fat below this, and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
that's not for everyone, and that's not going to
No,
make everyone happy. And that's ultimately, if it's going to
yeah.
make you miserable, then why are you doing it?
It's because another story as well is like, hey, it's let's say the macronutrients and all the posh words and the carbs and proteins and fats and zigzagging and fasts and all the other stuff, right? So if someone comes to me and they're age 40 plus or 30 plus and they've never lose weight, okay, they've never been happy within reason. They come to me, right, and let's say they drop 3 stone in 6 months, just saying, their partner's going to accuse them of carrying on. Their partner can be so insecure because there's so much of a change within 12 weeks to 6 months. Because I say, if someone comes to you, what's home life like? What do you mean? Well, do you get on with everyone? Well, to be honest with you, well, if you low carb for 12 weeks, you're definitely going to break up. You're going to be moving your parents. I guarantee that. I ain't going to be doing that. I will be saying, right, before you do the low carb plan, which you're not doing anyway, you need a date night. You need to book a spa over the next 4 weeks and have some fun we ever have. And then all the excuses come in. Yeah, but we haven't got no money. How many Chinese do you have a week? 3? And 4 bottles of wine. On your vape. All right, wait a minute. That's £500 a month. I said, so that's negative spend. So, okay, you can have an holiday, and the spa's only £130 if you get off Groupon. Hey ho, I know my stuff. So it's just trying to find. I think life is a finding game. It's a discovering game. It's like we all got systems. I think we should all have a system, a routine, a plan, not fixated, a flexible routine, a flexible system. Like when I done bodybuilding, I got a system. When I'm a father, I got a flexible system. When I'm a coach, and I got a flexible system. When I'm talking to you, this is not all planned. It's just from memories and experiences. And people might say, oh, you jump in stories. When I'm 46, I'm excited. I'm a 90s kid. I want to tell everybody everything. And you can take 5 seconds from it, a word from that, sentence from that. And I could go back on this podcast and really rip into myself and like, oh, I shouldn't be sitting on a set, I shouldn't be slouching, I should have the shave. Oh, look, if you were judging people, how they speak, what they wear, or what they're doing, you are absolutely losing time in your life. You're wasting positivity, happiness, and focus on your own self. So if we say, oh, Steve shouldn't be wearing black, you wasted a second of your life, not going to get it back. If we think, oh, so-and-so's on 20 holidays a year, God, he's probably working 3 jobs, he doesn't smoke, drink or take drugs, and he's doing the best he can, and he got no children. Understand it. Do you get me? So it's just, it's understanding and finding yourself. And I think not holding on, live and learn, crash and burn. I think that's the thing I had to say. Live and learn or crash and burn. You're winning and you're learning. Not winning and losing. Winning and you're always learning. And I think once I've gone to a certain age, I'm not sure, over the last 10 years, I started changing my vocabulary, how I speak to myself. No, that hey, I can be accountable for you all day. You could say, Steve, I want a helicopter. Right, how are we going to get it? Or a helicopter license, or do you want to buy it forever off? So we'll find. Well, I can't afford that. How can we afford it? How can we do it? I can't do that. How can we do it? I can't afford it. How can we afford it? I'm not sure about that. How can we understand it? Or thing does my head in. Do you know the story? Do you know what I mean? So that I think the more we understand in life, the more we live a better life. Like, we don't know when our time's up. And it's not being deep. Back in the 90s, people say, oh, Steve, you wear your life on your sleeve. Right, okay, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with talking? Like, the chat is the most important thing a human being can have. It's called connection. And what you find in valleys, maybe, and probably deprived areas around the world, people pretend they're something they're not. They pretend to have the Ferraris and have the money and have the biceps and the abs. It's all materialistic stuff. Hey, if it helps you, do it. It also, if someone has a Ferrari, I'm so chuffed for them. If someone got a nice watch, I'm like, if I go on an aeroplane to Gran Canaria and I see a Seiko Arnie, and I'm like, nice watch, bud. If I see someone wearing Crocs, I'm like, oh, I love them Crocs. Some people don't like them, don't shout at me. If I see someone who got like a certain baseball cap, or they film and they got an Osmo 3 camera, I'm like, nice camera, buddy. Or if it's a girl, yeah. If someone goes past me and they got a, I don't know, a nuke-proof megawatt e-bike, I won't say, oh, he's lazy, he got an e-bike. I said, nice bike. Cashmere Forks, I love her. £177 a month for 5 years, I got one. So it's just understanding. The more you understand, I think the more, even I'm driving down the road, I'm spotting a ginger cat on the thing, and the number of the house is 17 with a green door. That is detail. It's detail. People are going to work like this. A to B, 9 till 5, A to B, breakfast, midday, drink my water, do this, do that. When's the last time I had fun? Huh? What's that? Autopilot. So I find when you find yourself, I think you're more open, your eyes are more open, you can see more. I think sometimes I'm on a statue with my wife, I'm on the phone, I think, right, pardon my French, boobies or phone? Well, first option, please, because the phone is going to be there forever. My wife ain't. A lot of people I coach, their partners have passed away. And another thing, regret. Oh, I coach so much regret. It's sad. The amount of times I've been in tears and thinking, whoa, my life is okay. Or sometimes my life's a bit battered. But not battered. Gratitude. Appreciate what you got. Do what you can before you can't. And this is what I'm trying to say to people, guys, gals, one day you won't have a time, one day you won't have the finance or the ability, and you don't need finances to go for a walk. But I guarantee you, when you go for a walk and you have that fresh air, your mind opens up, you think, wait a minute. And especially got a coach like me who goes through different systems, think, I am washing dishes this week for my missus. Right, and I text my missus, and I buy a box of chocolates or flowers. She might think you've done something wrong, mine, because over here you only do boxing chocolates for birthdays and special occasions. And like, what have you done? Nothing, right? But do you get it? So it's trying to break the mold. Break the mold. So when you go for these walks and I don't exercise for muscles. I exercise to clear and open my mind so much. I don't forget to text Phil Bennett, which is one of my best friends. I don't see him in person. I text him once a month, once every 2. Then that floods back in the 90s memories, the Nintendo, the Spectrum, the Amstrad, the Pac-Man, the Jet Set Willy. It's not a dodgy film, it's a game. And all these fun things, and having a bag of chips with Phil, and eating Bourbon biscuits and having a coffee. being a personal trainer, you can't do that because there's no sugar. No. I'm creating memories. So if that means me going down to see my friend and having a bag of chips and playing Super Mario Kart and having a full pack of Bourbon biscuits, I'm not counting my macronutrients. Because if anybody were to pass away, less regret. Not be boring. I'm saying, don't get me wrong, hey, eating healthy and exercise is phenomenal. Zigzag a little bit, pull it back in. If you feel you're going off track, you're not. It's life. You don't know what's around next corner. If you have a punch in a car, hey, don't go, oh, what's happens to me? If you miss have an argument, oh, don't talk to me like that. It means you're doing the dishes, the arguments, the build-up of something you're not listening to. Listen. But if you're too, it's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And it's not about exercise. You have a look how many hobbies you've done over the 30 years, or the first 10 years of your life. Go back to them. Throw a stone across a pond. Go fishing, shoot an egg and have a sling. When's the last time you made a peg gun? I have. 30 years ago. So when's the last time you done? So ask it, when's the last time I done this with myself? So you've got family time, couple time, you time, friend time, hobby time. When's the last time you done something different with your family, with your friend, for yourself, tried a different hobby, or go back to an old one or start a new one? I'm just doing axe throwing and arrow. So we've got my Instagram is just literally people like, oh, best training session I've had. Boo, boo. And my missus like, not shooting arrows down the garden, you. Of course I am. Into somewhere which is safe. So again, her mother's coming through on fear. Yeah, but what if someone's, hey, it is what it is. 90s kid, it's their own fault. I show them what to do. Pew! It's going to go off. I don't tell nothing else. If it goes down the river, it's fine. It's all safe. So it's discovering. So whoever's watching this, to learn off me and you, keep discovering. But if you're worried about what goes on, we all worry. We all think. We all stress. If you over worry, over stress, and overthink, you need to get an hobby, you need to do something, you need to go and clean a dish or do the Hoover. If you was broke, fix it, buy a new one. Don't worry about it. There's loads of things. Any questions? I can keep going.
No, it's you covered quite a lot there, but it's ultimately like you say, it's about balance, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
allowing yourself that room to move in different directions and to do different things. And again, I think it comes down to a lot of it is we're afraid to be seen as, we get boxed into this image of who we
Yeah.
are, and we're afraid to step out of that, even if we think, well, for some reason, as we get older, we kind of lose that playfulness. Like, it's not okay anymore to be playful anymore and have fun. I hate that.
It's when people start calling you crazy or mad, I think you're on the right track. Go on. Because as a thing I remember, Ken, I try to really think, right, how can I get people to understand anything, where no subject, anything. So, right, let's go into this then. Happy people. So let's say we're in a shop. Happy people sell more. Tired people don't. Right. Let's go into a career. Happy people get a pay rise and make their business productive. Hey, some might have different opinion. Tired people don't get a pay rise. I'm just saying most of the time. Right, okay. So let's go into what I think. Remember B.A. Baracus? You know yourself when you're hungry. Do you quit your job fooling, chuck a Snickers at your head, or marathon back in the 90s, right? So let's go to this. So if you're going to learn something, if you whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, or whatever, right? Let's reset. Let's press reset. Right, okay. So if we're tired, we know ourselves, are we? Bed on time. People say, oh, you got insomnia. Right, right, we can work on that. It's just so, if you're thirsty, it's not good. If you're hungry, be bracas, right? And if you're stressed, if you were tired, thirsty, hungry, and stressed, there's not much left. If you're a father or mother, auntie, uncle, CEO, multi-millionaire, billionaire, it's not even worth having the money. It's not even worth it. So if you're tired, go bed on time. It's just a reset now, and you can make your own whatever you want. If you're thirsty, drink water. If you're hungry, plan your food. If you're stressed, have fun. Exercise. Do an hobby. If you try and balance, don't perfect. If you perfect, you're going to fail straight away. If you try and get a balance, and you can add things to that, you can change your own vocabulary, you can design your own way of reset. If you go through that, literally break up, bereavement, job loss, or job interview, new date, you get married, you go holidays, you go bed on time. It sounds boring, in the own balance, and just it'll be like an equalizer. It'll change every day, every hour, every month, every season. It'll change. If you press reset every day, think, what do I need to do? I will remember to take the parcel down the post office. I will do the dishes like that. Claire will say, oh, you haven't moved it up in, yeah? I will remember to pay my Klarna for my new speaker, whatever the case would be. You will remember. And when you remember most of the stuff, most, not all, because not being perfect, you'll be less stressed. Because we all live in our head. But it's nice to think, oh, I took that parcel on the post office. So I shot the targets. I'm meeting Phil Bennett for Mario Kart and a pack of Bourbon biscuits. You start remembering. And all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, it's old age. It says, oh, I'm always forgetful. Stop. Do not tell yourself you're always forgetful. Do not say to yourself you're clumsy. Because those who moan about dropping the ball will drop the ball. Full stop. Stop moaning. People say, oh, you're too much, Steve. No, I'm not. I am not. Literally. And what you find is, like, if going back into breakup, let's pick a life lesson. If I broke up with my missus today, or she come from work and she said, oh, Steve, I've been seeing the boss behind your back for the last 2 years. I've done all I can to be a best husband and a best father. Yeah? I ain't got nothing else to give. I'm not chasing my losses. When you're tired, you're sensitive. Yeah, and you're needy. That's where the issues are. If you start looking after yourself, okay, I have 20 plus years ago, I have gone off track. Life lessons, my grandparents have passed away, breakup, some of my friends like commit suicide and cancer. Or we all got stories and all lessons, okay, all things we've been through. What I've done, if someone passes away, dedicate a session to them. I will train, I go mountain bike, I'll go for a walk, I'll bomb dive in a lake somewhere, I'll go on a longboard, skateboard, I go down the beach, I light the fire, or see on the beach, not an house fire, obviously. And so it's just trying to, when you go through pain, what's the solution? When you're tired, what's the solution? If you're not happy in work, what's the solution? If you're not getting in a relationship, what's the solution? If you need to spend more time with your kids, what's the solution? What is it? Find what you need. But don't wait till Monday. All your January the 1st, whatever goals are, or dreams, etc., they need to be every day. Because I can ask everybody who's watching this, right, what's your January? And some people say, oh, yes, Steve, I've done this, I've done that. What's your New Year's resolution? And he'd be like, lasted 4 to 6 weeks, and I didn't have one, to be honest. So just live a good life. Well, have you done anything since January the 1st? Have you flown a kite? Have you had to go with a jet ski? Have you done a career change because you're not happy in the last 30 years? Have you polished your shoes? Do you wear Under Armour socks? What do you like doing? What is your self-care list? And your self-care list will be a certain system, or it sounds quite boring when I say system or routine or ritual, but if you've got a certain system you can go back to, no matter what you wake up to in life, okay, you will carry on regardless. And people say to me, Steve, my rabbit died, or it's work's not going to plan, I'm arguing with my missus. Look after yourself. They'd be saying, oh, I got pain in my back, look after yourself. Or, Steve, I've had an argument with my friend, we're supposed to be going on holidays, you all argue, you're not going, look after yourself. Because if you looked after yourself, you're still going on holidays, and you don't know what your friend's going through. It's going back to the understanding. And number one word, before I forget, kindness. Kindness. When you're low carbon for 12 weeks, you're not kind. Do you know what I mean? If you're taking anything personal, you're not kind. If you're sensitive, you're not kind. If you're tired, sorry, I don't think you can be kind. So it's trying to find the system or balance or ingredients. Let's say chocolate cake. If you're making chocolate cake, you ain't got chocolate. Yuck! I like chocolate cake. Or you have a custard slice with no custard in it. What's that? It doesn't make sense. But in life, sometimes people live without the custard and the custard slice. They live in life or design in life without the chocolate in their cake. They're missing whatever ingredients that is. And I just think, don't go asking John, Phil, or whatever, because sometimes their opinions might not be what you want to hear. You go ask yourself. Don't ask mum or dad. Don't ask your next door neighbour. If you want a super bike, don't tell anybody. You need to do your CBT. Don't worry about the insurance on a superbike because it'll put you off. You need to do your main crash course. I failed my first one. I had all my leathers, my helmet, my boots, my city boots, my RCT, no RST, sorry, carbon fiber kangaroo levers. I looked like I was Rossi doing my CBT. The guy's like, and when I couldn't go into second gear, he's like, So you can have all the gear, no idea, but it doesn't mean you can't try it. And now and again, or keep on trying till you can. But what I can remember going into as well, this is life lessons I'm talking about now. Okay, so if someone's lost by that, listen more. Is when I passed my CBT, that was lush. When I failed my main test, that was not good. Because when I failed my last, well, wasn't good. I went back to age 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Not good enough, anxious, tired. I don't like using the word depressed. I call it tired because when people are depressed and you have fun, flying a kite or a remote control car, they don't think of nothing else. So when you add fun into it, we feel guilty. And then when I passed my test for the second time, right, because all the boys were waiting for me, I was going through Ponty, I was gutted, failing my test. I was listening to Michael Bolton sitting on a dock of the bay, play it. It's just like, oh, I was just eating chocolate in the garage. I was like feeling sorry for myself. I would sell my levers and I'm not good enough for this. My dad was right and my mother's right. It's dangerous and it's a lot of money. And I can remember my mate Wayne, he said, you haven't failed. I said, no, I have. And I had to switch my phone off. I watched Rambo and I had chocolate for the rest of the day, feeling sorry about myself. But my missus said, just reapply. Reapply. Yeah, replay and do your test again. Just do it. Do it now. But doing it now for me, I was loving a pity party. I was eating chocolate. Clay's like, come here. You're gonna be all right. And I was like, oh, I like it. So I don't know if I want to do it. I was just holding on to it. I was like, oh no, it is dangerous, isn't it? And she said, Steve, shut up. Be quiet. You were doing it for a reason. All your friends got motorbikes and you haven't. You don't like being left out. So what are you going to do? Reapply. I'll do it for you. It's like, so literally, and I reapplied, I passed it. I bought a GSXR 600 before I passed my test from JT's in Bridgend, £103 a month. My Chinese and all my eating rubbish was £300 a month at the time. Me buying a super bike, okay, reduce my negative spend, reduce my chocolate. Because when I'm on a super bike, dropping down the cog from third gear to second gear, hitting 10 revs per minute, I'm not eating a Twix. Oh no, definitely not. When I'm going up the Rickos banking, get my knee down, I'd be showing off. I never got my knee down. I'd be lying if I did. But when I pretend to get my knee down on the bike and drop a cog and rip and dip a clutch and going 40 mile an hour, obviously, nah, I didn't have a chocolate. All my hobbies, all my bad habits disappeared. Yeah, all my bad thoughts disappeared. My mum would be like, don't go running downhill, Steve. And my dad would be like, how much is that? And then my friends would be like, oh, you must be a drug dealer to buy one. And I'm like, what? What's drugs? The only drugs I take is aspirin. That's once a year. So I think learning from that motorbike thing is when you got a hobby or an interest, it reduces your negative spend. You might think buying a super bike costs money, but I had less chocolate on it. I had less stress. So going back to thirsty, hungry, tired and stressed. Motorbike, poof, didn't matter if it had chocolate, it doesn't matter how many grams of protein I had that week, how many reps and bench pressing. The GSXR just wanted to be started up, first gear, clutch out, boom, and all disappeared. It's like flying a kite. Mary Poppins, if you type in Go Fly a Kite on YouTube, at the end of Mary Poppins, all walks of life, bankers, millionaires, chimney sweepers, little kids, homeless people, and they all flying a kite. And what I love about this is life coaching now, is that no matter what you go through in life, when you're having fun, things will fit into place. Forget the emotions. So there's the chimney sweeper come around the corner, Google it. Or YouTube, Go Fly a Kite, Mary Poppins. And they all, some people in suits, the bankers, and they all doing this to the kites, and they're like, oh, they all laughing. And the chimney sweeper came around the corner, he said, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your father. He was like, yes, don't worry, he died happy and he's flying a kite. So it doesn't matter what you go through, you have to find what flies the kite. And fly the kite, motorbike, sometimes you need a chocolate to get through it, But fine, it's like the picture behind. There's a stag on it, okay? And I'll show you. Bear with me a second. It's like that's flying a kite. Let me show you a second. I'm on a horse with my daughter. Yeah. Let me show you another thing. I like my chandelier. Sorry about that. Chandelier. Let me show you another thing. 1 second. Bear with me. See that? It's not just a picture of gold frame. If you have a look at the wave, if you've ever caught a wave before, okay, it's something different. It's taking your mind off stuff. And by doing that, riding a horse, catching a wave, flying a kite, have the custard slice. Spend time with your daughter. She's going to remember that. I can't ride horses. I'm on it. And if someone's seen that, like, oh, he knows what he's doing. I haven't got a clue. I was cantering across the beach, saying to the girls who lent me the horse, does anybody want anything at the shop? I was like, and my daughter's behind me. She's laughing. I can hear her, Dad, you're going to come off. No, I ain't. I'm going up the shop. So what I'm trying to say is anything that, so I don't buy chocolate now, I buy stuff that I like. And it's not bragging. People can say, oh, hey, horses for courses, live and let live. Wherever tickles your fancy, if you want to go to TK Maxx and buy a silver antler to only biscuits for Christmas, do it. You have to find your thing. I wear and speak out I want to help my life and others around me. So if someone wants a hair jog for, I know it's random, they buy an hair jog. You have an hair jog whenever you want. If someone wants pink wellies or a jet ski, crack on. Because this is another story I want to tell people, is that if you listen to everybody, you're going to become that person who's giving you advice. Hey, don't get me wrong, there's loads of people, mums, dads, and everything, but remember this. So, from age 1 to now, 46, if I didn't shoot an air gun, under 12 foot per pounder is legal, garden hop, knock knock ginger, knock a door run, okay? Don't knock a doors which don't answer. You're not going to do that, obviously, by no number 14 in Reese Street, right? I knock the door and he'd want to rip our heads off. So, for some reason, let's knock it. And I'd knock the window so I nearly smash a window. And there's another story on top of a story. I made, in the Rhondda, the biggest knock knock ginger game ever. It's called Shake the Packet. And all the boys, I hopefully will listen to this over the next 30 years. Shake a packet means Reese Street is the longest street in the Rhondda. On one side you've got gardens with very nasty fences you can fall over, which Kerry Nash fell on a spike and hurt himself. So the right side, there's no gardens. Hey, I'm 9.5 stone back in the day, and I'm fast my hand. I knocked over 200 houses, 201 funny enough, within 10 minutes. That might be a Guinness Book of Records. I knew the people who come out, I'm going to knock it tomorrow. But I'm going to knock it reverse it. Oh, I used to have one of the boys and we'd knock quarter the street. So going into it is that wherever you do, wherever you like, as long as good for you in brackets, drink, drugs, vaping, smoking, that you're wasting your money, man. If you do less of the crap, you can have more good stuff. So if you go, I don't go on holidays, I need a new car, well, reduce the crap, whatever that is. Latte effect. £5 a day on latte is about 20 grand in 20 years. You get on just only coffee. Good luck. Literally, so I'll make my own. And hey, I'm not tight. I love a cost or whatever they want to call it. Any coffee I go to, as long as it's nice. But I won't go to a smelly coffee shop, a tacky floor. Definitely not. And if the woman behind got dirt underneath her nails, ta-ra, literally, I'm really not OCD. It's it's a therapy to me. You go into a nice coffee shop, you get the smell. You get nice staff. You get it's a nice floor, as nice tables, as nice chairs. It's that aura. And all of a sudden they got a millionaire cake and there's one left. Yeah. It's mine, boys. But if the granny next door to me gets it before me, I'm like, oh, I wanted that. And guess what she said? Oh, love, you can have it if you want. It's up to you if you want to make that choice to take it off the granny or be a nice person that day. Yeah, I will, thank you. But again, every day is a story. You can learn from everything. Everything's a story. I can talk all my life about even sharpening a pencil. There's everything you can look into, which is a lesson. Literally, if a pencil sharpener wasn't sharp, What am I going to do? Either resharpen it, get a normal thing, sharpen on a sharpener, so I'm put it back and it's going to sharpen my pencil, or buy a pen. You're never going to run out. Well, 3 months down the line. So there's always something to look at the bigger picture, I think, Aaron. That's why. So I know I talked a lot, but in 46 years, I'm trying to I want another. Let's go till 9 o'clock tonight. Let's all have a cup of coffee and get custard slice and just talk our lives away. But yeah, any questions or anything?
Oh, I think you're right though. It is that bigger picture, and it's that getting that mindset right where we step back and look at our lives, because we get lost in that minutia, don't we, of just day to day life of just I've got to work, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and then you don't actually step back and go, well, why am I doing it? Because we're working to have money to live and enjoy our life, but if we're not doing that because we're so stuck in everything and not enjoying the little moments. So what I find is I've been guilty of it. A lot of people are guilty of it. Is they're not. We don't enjoy the little moments in between this stuff.
No.
So like even at like when you're at work, people like are not enjoying it.
No.
Like there's moments at work that that you're interacting with people. There's moments where you can enjoy it or look on the brighter side of stuff, even when it's difficult. Actually, I think when things are difficult, it can bring you together even more. Actually, sometimes you have a bit of dark humor maybe to get you through it, and
you got to. I know a lot of ambulance drivers and fire brigade and police and stuff like that, and all walks of life, and it's not all about trying to be perfect with speech or being positive as well, because negative, believe it or not, helps us. If I was positive, I'm not happy all the time, definitely not. Because I want, like, sometimes I'll have argument with my missus and she'll tell me straight, she says, Steve, you don't pluck up your ideas, you're out. Well, that day, I've reset. Do you know what I mean? I'll do the dishes, I'll put the washing out, I'll do this, I'll text her. If you have the toilet roll, I'll go and get toilet roll, I'll clean the toilet, I'll fix the bathroom door squeaking, I'll oil it with WD-40, and literally within that little boot in the face off something or someone, I naturally never used to do it, but naturally do stuff which is good for me. Wash your car, hoover the car, clean her car, not mine, and mine as well. Her come first sometimes. So it's trying to, that reset button is automatically helping you. Otherwise, if you don't do nothing which is good for you, go to your doctor and say, oh, doc, I've had a busy year, man. And he'd be like, oh, what's the matter, Steve? Well, I'm intrusive thoughts and I'm doing this and I'm not doing anything and I'm finding work hard and I'm not getting on my missus and I find it hard to be a father. And he's like, try his tablets. And no knocking any GP or any therapist, but the doctor should say to me, cover your ears, Steve, you need boobies. Steve, R6 Superbike. You need a custard slice. You need to shoot a target. You need a bench press. You need to go for a walk. When's the last time you had a holiday, Steve? When's the last time you had a date night? When's the last time you met up with Phil and have a pack of bourbon biscuits? When's the last time you hoovered your van and put tyre lick on your tyres? When's the last time you went for a 4x4? When's the last time you jumped on a horse? That's what should be said or asked. You need to find out what you need or makes you happy, and that's your medication. Because I know if me and you go down the river, not my river now, it's legal, to a good place where you're allowed to shoot a gun or a sling, and we put Pepsi Max on the other side and you might have broke up with your missus, and let's say my friend committed suicide, for example. You got a Diablo, I got a Black Widow sling, and then you, poof, hit the can before me. I'm like, oh, again, first one who hits this now is a winner. And then like, boom, I hit that. It's called DOSE. DOSE. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. Find what you're lacking. Find what you're lacking. Google it. The doctor's fabulous when we need them, but I just feel the under 60 people who've come to me who haven't committed suicide, and a lot of these people around them, mums and dads, brothers and sisters and neighbours, boy, go and see Steve Wolf for £40. That's a lot of money, man. They don't realise if they don't come to me, they might not be here by now. How sad is that? Why are you going to the gym for £30 a month? Hey. Why are you going archery for? Why are you going to Weight Watchers for Slimming World or whatever? Hey. Stop stopping people's flow. that's their medication.
Yeah, I think it comes back to that as well. What I said about people being in boxes, and we like people we know and friends and family want us to stay in that box because that's safe. We
It's only
know that's who
caring,
you
isn't
are.
it? They care for us.
Yeah, but they're also it's not like a mean thing, but you fit in this box, so they don't
Yeah,
want you to step out of that box because they're
yeah,
worried about what that means and like what that's going to do for you. So they don't like
yeah.
people to change.
It's
Um, it's a strange thing that we want to keep everybody in a box because then that's safe. We know that person then. We know who they are, what they're about, and then if they start doing all these new things, it can be scary to people in a lot of
yeah.
ways, I guess.
I think what helped me as well, talking about the box, I never fitted in a box because my nose is bigger than the average person's. And I think sometimes humour, I think I'll in a group I say, come on, you bald big nose blah blahs. If you can take a mick out yourself, I can, and I don't take that person. Where I got bullied before on that, or certain features, or you are, or you're too small, or you're too fat, or your nose is too big or too small, or you got brown eyes, or whatever. Because we all go through bullying. I think if we can take the mick or whatever vocabulary you want to call that about yourself, I think it helps people. Do you get? But if someone's negative in the pub and comes on, you say, "Look, Steve, oh, but you got bigger nose than ya. Oh, you're ugly." Sometimes like, it's a little bit too much, but I'll take it on your head. But if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, if I'm stressed, or I'm thirsty, it's going to call Black Eye Friday. So I need to walk out. So Black Eye Friday is because everybody, right, is tired, thirsty, angry, and stressed. They drink and they can't drink. It's like going into the gym and bench pressing 200k. People don't drink, they drink 20 pints. Black Eye Friday, looking at me, boom. And so going back to it is when you say in that box, if it's rattled, if you're compressed or depressed or whatever, find out. Find out what works for you. And I always say this to my mum. My mum's a lovely person. My dad's a lovely person. I've learned off loads of them over the years. And my mum's a full-blown Christian, okay? And what I said to her so years ago is that, "Mum, why do you take advice of people who's a non-Christian?" Because what you'd find, people say, "Oh God, oh enough of this now, Joe, so blah." Or Joe. And as soon as my mother come up the street, a lot of people love her. She's like Mother Teresa. She got time for everybody. If it's a granny grey going across a pavement, you pick her up. If you go up to the next blade of grass up on a mountain, and she put up on a mountain, she is absolute lush, right? I hope my father's not getting jealous. He listens to this, but you're lush as well. So what I'm trying to say is that what you find is that what I used to say, "Mum," and she used to probably worry about what other people think and what other people say. But I said, you knit, you go to church, you sing, you play your guitar, and then you let the budgies up. She loves budgies, she's got rainbow, and she loves the budgies. So that's her therapy, that's her that's her happiness list. That's her reset. But I say to her, why do you let people control you who's not Christian? Why? Just because everybody try and compress that. But I said, would you want to end up like them people who are non-Christians? And no, if they take drugs, they drink, that's fine. Horses, of course, we're not judging anybody by it, definitely not. But I find us humans to take all the wrong advice off the wrong people. So if you take and again, no pun intended. So if I were to ask 10 people in my street about I'm thinking of my superbike, I'm thinking I'd do my own license. 9 out of 10 probably were like, I might have one or two maybe. Oh, go for it. If one's a biker, why haven't I already got one? So I think sometimes we gotta I vibe. I haven't got many friends, okay? People say, "Oh, I'm your friend." Like, no. When I say friends, I got close knit to people. So I can go on to, let's say you, and say, "Look, I'm gonna buy a jet ski," and you probably say, "Oh, that's a good idea." But if I were to go on to my mother, she might have a different opinion. My father might have a different opinion because it's a different generation. So I'll ask my generation if I want a yes, or my uncle who is a different generation say, "Oh, Chris, I think a jet ski. Oh, can I go on it when you get it?" So I will ask the right people. But also, I'll gather you can get opinions or lessons off anybody. But what I'm trying to say, if someone says to me, "Steve, don't buy a mountain bike, it's dangerous." All right. And if I don't have all my hobbies, I probably would have committed suicide by now. Because Steve O gets bored very easy. Yeah, and any human. So in the valleys, if you're bored, you go to work. If you're bored, you go work and be bored, drink, drugs, having sex with the wrong people, having babies with the wrong people. Because then it's single parents. So it's another story. But no pun intended, definitely not. But I find when you're tired, you kiss the wrong person. When you're happy, you might kiss the right people. I'm not saying to kiss everybody, definitely not. Like, I'm married and I've been happy with my missus for 24 years. We have our ups and downs. Sometimes she wants to hit me with a walk and I want to do with a walk. But we say, oh, sorry, I think I'm right all the time. And she thinks she's right all the time. But then when it does settle, it's like, no, ego. I thought, no, it doesn't mean if I can bench press more, I know more. Definitely not. Guys, all right, sometimes can do one thing at a time. And women can answer phone, hoover, sort out the car insurance, and put the kids' clothes on at the same time. And say, Steve, can you put the washing out? Multitask. Yeah? So it's all therapy we're talking about. It's all knowing and finding, discovering. And going back to that box you said was that is if we can make our box bigger or break out of it, there's a book called Who Moved My Cheese. I'm not sure if you heard of it. You heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
Giovanni, top restaurant owner Cardiff, and I think he gone on cruise ships around the world, okay? I went to a seminar a couple of years ago at Orangery in Margam Park. There's about 100 people in there. Me being me, my miss like, don't you ask any questions, you keep your hand down. So, okay. So at the end, I felt sorry for him because no one asked a question. He said, "Are there any questions?" I went, "Over here." And he said, "All right." And he had this little glow about himself. Because when people take interest in you, it's nice. It's if anybody asks you any questions, you're like, no. And this is quite like cultural sometimes. So I'm like, oh, he's crazy. What's he gonna say now? I ask him, does he read? Man, that's a question I asked. He said, oh, no one have asked me that before. I know, because not many people ask questions these days. If you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't find, you won't find. Full stop. If you don't discover, you don't discover. So I said, oh, Giovanni, I was talking to him like I've known him for years. It's his people skills and emotional intelligence, which I've learned from my own life, yeah? I said, oh, so you read, what's your favourite book? And he's like, what a good question. He said, if it was one to help me with my business, he said, it's Who Moved My Cheese. I said, huh? Cheese? He said, yeah, but explain. I said, so he said, look, there's 4 characters, scratch, sniff, am and ah. A lot of people around us are am and ah in. Some people are discoverers. And what you find, I'm not going to tell any more about the book, but I would definitely recommend going on YouTube or Amazon Audio and make sure you read and apply Who Moved My Cheese. It's all about having fun, discovering. You can have your and ah days, but try and go for it. Try and not put things off which are good for you. Put things off which are not good for you, definitely. If your friend said, oh, do you want to line a Coke? Stop it. Definitely, it's up to you. If you haven't got nothing else to go for, you're going to go for it. So if you lead a boring life, you are going to go for drink, drugs, vape and smoke. I understand that. But if you want a better life, if you want to live life, and if you want less cancer or less diabetes or cholesterol or tiredness or depression, I guarantee if you're on something that you like, if you love knitting, you haven't got knitting, you're going to be tired, depressed. If you like superbikes and you haven't got a superbike, you're going to be tired, depressed. If you haven't got something or living the life you like, you're going to be tired. You haven't got nothing to aim for. We as humans going to have something to look forward to. Whatever that is, I'm going to Buryport on a weekend with my mates fishing. I don't do fishing by hand because that's flying a kite. That's catching a whale. That's riding a horse. That's buying a chandelier you like or a candle holder. It's all fair. Be going to TK Maxx. I might think, oh, it's a nice set. I won't get it because I don't need 2 settees or whatever. I might not be able to afford it that time anyway, but I think I can't afford it. How can I get it? I'll sell my old one and buy a new one. And in life, if you can create a family, I think you gotta step back, rub your eyes, and think, right, what do I really want? What is life all about? Not what they want me to do. What do I want? That takes guts. That takes courage and boldness. But in the valleys or in a place, and I'm not knocking anywhere where any of us live, why do not for? How much is that? That's dangerous. That takes time. Are you sure? Will that work out? Yeah, but the thing is, they've been good to you, mine, Steve. Oh, yeah, but it might be raining tomorrow when you do it. Huh? What? So if it's raining, you stop washing your dishes or hoovering your house? No. So why should I stop doing stuff outdoors? I just put a good jacket on. Or I go in the sea in my pants. Your skin is waterproof. So it's trying to change our mindset, change your perception, and change your reaction. So if you drop a dish, this is a breakthrough. Years ago, in my old house, I learned doing dishes is good for me, good for my house, and good for my missus. Oh, thanks, Steve. So if I have more dishes I do, the more kisses I get from my missus. Happy life, happy wife. Or clean house, happy wife. And it's not just about the wife; it's about what you show your children as well. Okay. So I get this, I know, Steve Wall personal trainer mug off one of the troopers I train. No one drinks from my coffee mug, and it's in there. I wash, I clean, and no one drops it. Dishwasher breaks. I clean all the cutlery, all the bowls, or wherever, and I put my cup and my bowl here. I love Fair Liquid. I got sort of scrubbing away. I'm looking away. Claire calls me. She said, Steve, and I look like her. I turn around, boom. I hit my favourite cup off the drainer. Hit the floor. Claire's ready for World War, whatever you want to call it. Steve Wall, dipping 100k on his waist, can do 30 dips, can punch bag 10 minutes flat out. I can run around the world through rivers. If someone breaks into my house, I need to say, sorry, but if on a TV you can go, I'm ready for anything. She's like, is everything all right? She's waiting for World War. I said, oh, my favourite cup dropped on the floor. I didn't want her anyway. The reaction, which I never ever, something clicked. As I turned to my right side, I knocked my favourite cereal bowl. It's the first cereal bowl, right? I had Cocoa Pops when I was younger. Cocoa Pops was my champion breakfast. But what I'm trying to say, I put so much value on this cup and this bowl. Something just went inside. I either kick off, jump around the kitchen, stab my feet with all the broken cutlery, or it's all right, Claire. I didn't need them anyway. Get the brush and pan, hoover up, double hoover, triple hoover, because I want my daughter standing on the excess glass. And that's it. So something clicked when I dropped that cup on that floor. I don't know what it was. I just felt if my daughter was in our kitchen, she'd have learnt the best reaction is the best reaction. Because sometimes you can't do nothing about it. And I think the best advice for anything, any conversation or argument you get into, I think sometimes the best advice is no advice, say nothing, step away. Because we try and win an argument. We try and win. We learn to have straight days, get a 1 in degree, and do that. And we are focused on winning the fight on the street. No, it's being kind. It's step away. Step away. Because any argument I have with my missus, everything I think I'm just going to be bang on, I can even AI it. I think, right, talk back to missus like this. Right, sorry, love, blah, 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 blah. You don't talk to me like that. So in an argument, I just zip it, I walk away. I do the dishes. Sometimes you've got to confront the argument, or when I say that, listen, discuss, communicate, chat. An argument is because you're not listening. The argument is because I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, boom. You're not listening. So if you're tired, stressed, hungry, thirsty, you're naffed. Once you reset, you'll pick up. And it's not being perfect, Aaron. It's not being perfect. It's trying to get life. And sometimes it's not having the answer. The best, I think sometimes the best reaction is no reaction. It's just sit down, have a cuppa. Do you know, some people might want to have a tattoo or go and have a pint. I think for me is do something which doesn't cost money and only costs you breath. That's just sitting down and chilling out. I was training one girl ever, Sarah, and she had all these cups and old saucers. I love old cutlery. The 1960s, 70s, 80s from Manners. And she had this tattoo sleeve going up her, and she had social anxiety, bless, she wouldn't come out the house. So I trained her in the living room. And I'm just nosing like, I said, why the tattoo? She said, my gran always said, Steve, that anytime, anything I go through, anything I find going to answer, put the kettle on. have a cuppa. And literally she had this phenomenal, I'll try and get a picture of it. She had this phenomenal sleeve where your mother would be like, oh, don't have a tattoo. Your mother didn't realise that tattoo was a medication. So every time she had a bad day, cuppa. Stops everything. Stop. Trying to stop saying the best sentence. Trying to stop doing the best thing. The best thing is sitting down and even if you're colouring, even if you're doodling, whatever, find your thing. And sometimes the thing you don't even know what it is. It might be, I don't know, cleaning the skirting boards. It might be de-weeding the garden. It might be back in the day, I can always say, teletext holidays. You'd go to Benidorm off-board, £118 for 5 of them. What? that's just the food trip and the services now, are it? So again, less more and more doing. Do you get me? And I think life is about wherever how you want to live, really. Just but give back to the community, give back to yourself, show your kids how to live. Don't be boring. I'm not a father to my people. Disagree with me. I want to be a crazy friend of my daughter and my son. I have a line, but I want to be jumping on the swings. I want to be climbing frames. If I fall out of the tree in front of my daughter and win myself, I wanted to see that. I don't say, oh, don't go up here now, it's dangerous. I wanted to show the danger. I wanted to laugh at me if I broke my ribs falling from an apple tree. I want to have a game of what's it called, running across the road with chicken whatever it's called. No, definitely not. Some games you've done. British Bulldogs, definitely not. I've had too many. I haven't got the nose to be knocked in a bloody nose, etc. But what I'm trying to say is, if we can do stuff before you can't. Kindness. Horses for courses. Don't take things personal. If you break up, don't be too needy. Do an hobby. Take your mind off it. If someone passes away, if someone has passed away in your life, my mother said this, and my mum's still alive, and I love it to bits, all right? My mum says, Steve, when I go to heaven, make me proud. Okay. But when I say make her proud, I'm still going to shoot an air gun, do a sling, do all the naughty things, or not naughty, all the things I love. And I do go to like midnight mass with my mother, Christmas time. Like I'm not a church goer, but my church is my hobbies. And I'm an asset, and you are an asset, and we all, whoever follows this or listen to this, I guarantee these are good people listening to this. I guarantee that, because there's one reason they like and listen and commenting on this, because they know they found their way, or they finding their way. They want more. They want more for their family. They want more for their career. They want more. They be the people to have a pay rise or switch careers, or if someone's in a coffee shop and they can't afford a cup of coffee because they've gone over on a bank or the credit card has been blocked, they'll have the emotional intelligence say, without anything, I'll sort this out. I'll sort this out. Don't worry about that. Sometimes you haven't got to talk. I guarantee one thing, what everybody I want to do on you is listen to us. When you go home, or someone in work, let's start off, give your missus or your daughter or your son, whoever, a coach. Don't go into someone on the street and coach them, because you might have a Nina Ghoulies, okay? You might know Krav Maga. That's another thing I love doing. So don't speak too much all the time. If I were to coach you lot for the last hour and a half, you'd be like, this is a bit dodgy. When he's speaking, I'm like, it's a bit dodgy. So you got to coach at the right time. All right? And there's another film which I love. It's all life lessons. It's Eddie Murphy, 1,000 Words. You need to listen to it. What I learned from our film, right, was less, more. I don't want to say much, but Eddie Murphy, 1,000 Words. You need to research, you need to listen to over the next week. Everybody who's listening to us on here. What I was trying to do is try and douse my missus with, if it's love bombing, I don't know what's called, if it's, oh, I love you, and doing a, no. I went to my missus, and sometimes in arguments, and sometimes in ups and downs. Come on. And literally I'd coach her. Sometimes she want to batter me, but no, when I coach her, that's all we want as humans, is love and time. And being around the boy talking like that back in the 90s, I get beat up. But no. But if I knew this then, I'd rather get beat up and give a bully a big crutch. I wish I give my dad a crutch. I wish I give my mum a crutch. I wish I crutch my grandfather's no anymore, or my grandmother. I wish. Stop wishing, start doing. And that's not telling you, I'm already doing it. And when I keep on listening to Aaron and your podcast, I want people to speak out. Don't worry about what you got to talk about. It's all positive stuff. And the more we talk, the more we saving people's lives. When's the last time I had a good chat? Like, it's like we talking by ear. If I went on to someone in Tesco's and said, right, over the next hour and a half, we're going to chat positive. Oh, I haven't got time, I've got to go work, which is fine. But if someone can listen to us and just listen to 1 second, one word, one sentence, share it. Share if you care. It's helping people. It is helping people because some people don't know how to talk. I always say, oh, I haven't got enough likes on my Facebook, no one's sharing. That's not about me. They might have social, they might not want to tell people what they're going through. Or if you're going to Steve, he must have issues. No, they haven't. We're just on this journey to look after ourselves for happiness and being kind. It is what it is. Murphy's Law. Don't chase your losses. You're wasting your time. You are wasting your time. I talk too much.
No, you don't. I love it. I love it. I've only had 2 hours sleep, see, Steve. So you're actually really helping me with all.
Oh,
with
sorry.
the talking.
I wonder why your head is not.
Operating on 2 hours today. But you are right though. It's that it's your mindset and how you approach things for a start, and life. It makes a huge difference. Like you were saying about you dropped your cup and you spilled your coffee. I did it the other day on the way into the office. 6 a.m. I stopped at McDonald's, get a coffee on the way and some breakfast because I was it was my little treat when I'm going to work.
Yeah, therefore.
And the guy hands me the latte, took it off him, went to put it in a cup holder. And no word of a lie, I don't even know how it happened. The lid come off, it flipped upside down. The entire cup of coffee filled up the cup holders, and I was just like, meh. So I drove all the way to work with these 2 cup holders absolutely brimming with coffee, trying not to spill it everywhere. Got there, just cleaned it up and just owned it, made a joke of it. First thing I did was tell everybody about it because it's about that how you approach it, isn't it? I could have been like I could have set me off on a bad mood all day if I'd let it. If I just oh, this always happens to me, this is crap, or why me? I feel sorry for myself, and then I would have been in a bad mood and clashing with people all day. But because the way I approached it, I basically just laughed it off and owned it, and clumsy me, and these things happen.
It's interesting,
and I had a good day out of it. And actually, that started telling everybody about that. Started a good connection with people, and then we started off on a good day. And it's all about that mindset and how you approach things.
Yeah, it's because what you find if it's every day's a story, and if you say to someone, look, the coffee story, it's going to open up their stories, and don't ask, they could say, oh look, I opened a packet of letters this morning, they went all down the toilet, so we got female stories and male stories. So don't be shy on what the story is, because sometimes it's taboo subjects or we're afraid to say, but I'm raw, I'm organic, and that's what people like about us. And this is raw. I wish you was doing this in the 90s, but then we wouldn't have any stories to talk about. I'd be talking about chicken and broccoli and going to work. Wow. Whoopie-doo. Do you get me? So it's I think, and imagine 80-year-old Steve or an 80-year-old yourself. Phenomenal. If we get there, do you get me? Whatever the case, I lost people from all different angles and religions and cultures and ages, and you learn, keep learning.
Yeah. It's about that self-discovery, isn't it? About looking and and just learning from stuff, learning from other people, experiences, and everything as we go on. But I think a lot of it as well is with how you are and how you share with people and how people connect with you. Is because you're willing to be vulnerable. You're willing to show that side of you. And if you're vulnerable, in front of other people, it allows them to be vulnerable with you.
Yeah, definitely. Therefore, there's a story, and people that say, "Oh, why do you start exercising? Why do you this? Why do that?" Because I found through a certain point in my life, exercise didn't help me. It did, but didn't. And the story was, right, so my first relationship, my mum always said in the way of, so you meet someone, you settle down. You get an house, you get married, have kids. Just like that. And you don't realise your dog will pass away, your friend will pass away, people, your friends will break up who never thought to break up and stuff. So I went on a 7-year journey, and I see the 7-year stint, and people say, oh, 7-year stint. I didn't know what it quite was. I had 2 years into a relationship on my previous relationship, and so I got the house. I was in a job, not paid the best really, but I broke up. So we was in a house in Pontypool. We was in it for approximately 9 months, and so I had the girlfriend, had the house. The next thing was probably marriage and kids, and it doesn't work like that because broke up come into it. And there's 42 grand in debt. I remember 42 grand in debt with on 830 odd pound a month. They're never going to pay off because chocolate habits, and you go back to what you know, and you're buying Rambo knives and all the stuff there, and knuckle dusters and nunchucks and all the stuff you see on movies on the bike, which you can't get because there's no Google around, so you make your own sometimes. And I just was up to my eyes in debt, give the person all I could, and had a house, didn't have none of my hobbies, and it'd be like, don't wear your socks like that, don't wear a baseball cap, and we just broke up. I won a Mr. Wales that year, and probably at that time, I'm not going to blame that because I wouldn't change what I've been through. So I click the film. If you try and change it, you're not going to be where you end up. And if I would say, oh, woulda, shoulda, coulda, I wouldn't be where I am talking to you on here. And if everything went perfect, I'd be boring to talk to because I was work, yeah, good. I was family, good. I was relationship, good. I was always fab. I was your car, fab. I was your skin, brilliant. And it's boring. So going back to the 7-year stint is I had to deal with breakup, deal with event blues, winning the Mr. Wales, but then you go holiday blues or event blues. So keep going to it. But when you get it, the goal is sometimes not what you feel like after it. It's called blues, yeah? And then obviously being in debt and selling the house and breaking up. Do you think I could talk to my mother or anybody about that? It was a Saturday. I can remember everything was going against me. I felt it wasn't. It was just life testing me. My mum would say, God has seen how strong you are. Well, sorry. It was a Saturday. That Saturday morning at 9:30 till 2:30 in Caerphilly Gym. And there's a vending machine. I didn't have much money on me, but I knew if I shook the vending machine, sorry, Steve Sharkey, I owe you a couple of quid for I had a couple of free bar of chocolates, okay? There's no alarm on it. I was the last in the gym. I was shutting down the gym. Between Caerphilly and Pontypool, I had 22 bars of chocolate, right? And I was driving eating. I was going plinking with my mate Wayne that night, all right? So all the bars of chocolate, I put in my glove box. As this come, I think it's Blackwood, eating, and I planned my suicide, okay? And share this out there, okay, because I want people to know. Is I thought I had everything. Within one conversation, lost. The house, my thought forever misses, 42 grand debt which she didn't know about, yeah? I had holiday blues. No one knew my emotions. Who did I go to? No one. What could I say? Couldn't. What did I do? Nothing. I stopped all my hobbies because other people don't value them. And at the time, to be in a successful relationship or in a friendship, you listen to fit in. But I listened to everything and I end up with nothing. So this was a story. I was going up. If you go to Pontypool, as you go up, used to be a petrol station on the right hand side. You got in, and I had a Spiral, a Marathon back, Snickers, a Mars bar, double king size, how we do us, a Twix, and a Bueno. And the guy said to me, "Wow, you're the fastest person I've ever seen come in the shop and pick them direct bars." I said, "Also, didn't realise I'd plan my suicide." So my Cavalier in sports mode does 108 miles an hour. If you go across Pontypool thing, there's an old concrete building, and there's a turn and left guard, and there's a lamppost there, yeah? I planned in time, this was less cars, so when I hit the lamppost, I'd shunt that way, hopefully, But if someone doesn't come, it takes me 3 runs. The less cars come that way, and less people. But I timed this so there's not much traffic. So there's 90% chance this can happen. So I got Bill, got my chocolates in my garage. When I got in the car, I needed the rest of these chocolates. So I was buying them in like vending machine was 8 bars. I went in another garage which was like 7 bars. Bought another, I don't know, 5, whatever. I knew it was 22. I got in the car and my friend Wayne phoned me up. And I told him in call, I don't think he took his story in. Wayne Lewis saved my life. He phoned me up and we planned to go shooting that night. And when I say shooting, not shooting animals, just thinking shooting. It's an hobby, and in legal places as well. The only person I would answer the phone was Wayne. I was crying so much. When you cry so much, it takes all the oxygen of the body and you just got a headache and you're like, oh, why me, why me, why me? And I done all I need to do is eat chocolate. All of a sudden, Penny Lover come on the radio, which brings me back with Uncle Chris, who, when we used to do Artex and Corvin, Sorry If I Wrecked Your House over the 90s, he used to play Lionel Richie. And when he used to play Lionel Richie, the back to front album, I'd be like, oh, what's this? I want rave, I want prodigy, I want all the stuff I like listen to. I'm hard, I'm young, I'm full of testosterone and muscles. And Uncle Chris would be like, hey, you can put your stuff on after this song. And it'd be Lionel Richie's Penny Lover. So, what saved my life was distraction. When people say, oh, Steve, you shouldn't eat chocolate, distraction. Give me time into the garage. The next distraction was Wayne. So if I didn't build up a friendship with Wayne through hobbies, so if I listened to my mum and all friends who don't like guns, Wayne would have phoned me up that day, 20 years after, to say, Steve, we're going plinking. Penny Lover, song. Uncle Chris. Artexing. Music. Oh, good times. Wayne. So what did really help me that day was time. It was something I liked. If we worry what we do and what we think we should do, as long as it's healthy, I'm not saying eating chocolate, but 22 bars a day forever is bad. 22 bars in one day saved my life. So I can't knock it. I've got diabetes, whatever. So chocolate, a good friend, hobby, and Uncle Chris I can thank for. That was my number one thing. And so Wayne said, right, he knew what he was going through. He was like, Roberto, don't worry, I've been through many breakups. I've been through my first breakup. Anything new was a nightmare. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore. And so we'll be over at 6, we go shooting, we eat chips, we have chocolate, we do. He didn't realise where he didn't realise where he was pulling me from. He was pulling me from a pit. He's pulling me from a grey cloud. And he knew my missus, and on my wedding ring, Penny Lover's on the inside. The song Penny Lover, which is, I don't know what it's called, as in a miracle, or it's meant to be, is a song which, when I met Claire, which was Wayne's best friend on the caravan, was how we think together. Penny Lover, walk on by, and be a little bit emotional about it now. Penny Lover, and that was like, boof. So why do people commit suicide? Boredom, can't talk, no fun in their life, think they're broken, think they're ill, think what's the point? Let's reverse it a couple of years. From day one, yeah, we all gone through something, but also we've gone through good stuff as well. I just feel that if we can get the golden nuggets, if that's people or things or emotions or whatever, even lighting a candle, even I'll say to my daughter, she's 14, off-grown touch. She's like, why? Because I like it. I'll play it on my own if it comes out, but that's the medication. Don't feel stupid doing anything. So going back to suicide, I'm glad I had all them feelings. I'm glad, and not many people know this. I could have beat myself up through domestic violence. If my parents says, "Oh, you didn't have domestic violence," it's what I seen and I felt. It's not what about, it's what I've seen, what I felt. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong, it's what I experienced. But it doesn't matter, because what you find, you learn from it. Break up, it doesn't matter, you learn from it. Job loss, it doesn't matter, you learn from it. Illness, it does matter, you learn from it. Cancer, learn from it. I know people I've lost through cancer or anything. Please, whatever anybody goes through, do not worry about anything, because normally in 20 years' time, if I say to you, right, 20 years ago, Saturday, 3:30, 32 seconds, what was you doing? There you go. If you put too much value on it, before someone or the trauma, what some people know it, but then again, no pun intended. That's all our advice is for, is finding yourself. Some people are open-minded. Yeah, some people, I don't like this. I don't like how Steve and I are talking. I'm in better shape than him, or whatever. I got a better car than him. I'm earning more money than him. I got a bigger house than him. I got a better chandelier than him. I got a better black t-shirt than him. Whoopie-doo! Crack on. Because if you don't learn or improve, you're losing out. And that's not being horrible to anybody. If I say close-minded and I don't tell people, hey, I can be close-minded. If you said to me, Steve, start doing piano lessons tomorrow, I'd be like, no, I'm working, sorry. Am I close-minded? No. It's just I'm busy tomorrow. I might try another time. Or when I retire, I'll try it then. Another story for retirement. I never used to like water because my parents didn't. And going back a couple of years ago, I started going in the sea. And because I wanted to show my daughter not to be afraid of water, because if your holly's 3 to 5 grand and you don't like water, you were worrying when you can't find your daughter or your son. You're like, yeah. You literally may as well go to Chalky Spa and have 2 days or 2 weeks off rather than go to Gran Canaria or Lanzarote. And so it's just the stories are stories and you learn from. I said to Claire one time, my wife, and I said, look, I don't think we need to change our dating around. We're going to harvest there, we're going for food, and which is fine. Should we go surfing? Go, ooh. And sometimes when you say surfing or whatever, some people feel they like a whale in a wetsuit and they fat and they what? Oh, no one in the water doesn't care. Like I was in good shape at the time, right? And I thought I was a beach whale in my I was looking down, pulling on my suit. I was like a stone half lighter than I am now, right? So, and anyway, I worried about where we park, how I look in a wetsuit, if we get eaten by sharks, will Claire like it? Will I get lost? Will I stub my toe? Am I going to weigh down? What time are we going to get out? Is it tide in? Is it tide out? Is there any rip tides? So my mind was doing this now, stirring a cup of coffee. It was just going all through my mind. So what we did, we went down to Rest Bay and we had 2 bodyboards. I said, Claire, let's wing it. We want to just pretend we're professionals. Let's pretend we're sponsored by Quicksilver. So we went in there and I just went down with a little bit of, not cockiness, but come on, let's pretend to know. So pretend to know what you're doing and just do it. Because if you say, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, I look stupid, you're not going to build any new memories. Me and Claire was bobbing in the sea, right? And it was like, wow, like, we didn't talk about the bills. We just didn't do nothing. We just laughed. I had a little pee in the sea. Obviously, don't tell the lifeguards, but it's fish food anyway. But what made it for me was I was bobbing. I seen this guy. He must have been, I think he was about 84, 88, but 80s. I remember. I'm sure he said 84. And he had his wetsuit on, which looked like 50 years old, which probably was. And he was too small in it. It looked like it was too big for him. So as I bobbed, me, I said, oh, hola, which is another story. I'll tell you that as well. And I said, oh, what are you doing in the other end? He said, oh, my wife passed away a couple of years ago. We always used to surf and do stuff, outdoor stuff together. But he said, I'm full arthritis. He said, I can't run, I can't bike anymore. My hips are gone. And he said, when I sit down in the house, he said, I just cry myself through the day and I just miss her dearly. And I was like, oh, I was choking up. I can feel it by her now. And I'm still got my missus by her now. Let's not argue over spilt milk. Let's just get on with it. And so when I was talking to this guy, he said, the only place I have fun is in the sea. He said, I never used to like water. I said, same as me. I said, do you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that what he made me think about is I'm going to start doing hobbies when I'm not able or when I'm less able. Start colouring at age 20, 30, 40, 50, because one day you're going to be in old people's home. You need to colour. One day, some of your friends might pass away, and it's not be negative. One day you need to go into that sea and catch a wave. One day you need to ride a bike, fly a kite. One day you just need to look around the house and think, I think I've done really well. Or wherever you are, if you're in a flat, if you're homeless, you're still doing well. It's a journey. It's everything is not forever. If you're going through good, it's not forever. If you're going through not so good, it's not forever. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. So do hobbies which you can do now, but you might not be able to do when you can't do it. So find something which you can do. So I know I can shoot a can in a target range if I'm in a wheelchair. I won't be able to ride a super bike, but there it is. And it's just finding your thing, finding your magic, whatever vocabulary or quote, or Google how to live a good life, or Google how to hold on to what you already got. Because if you go back 20 years, hey, we're different people. If you go forward 20 years, we're different people. So just appreciate who you are today, I think. Appreciate what you got, how you think. And don't beat
Yeah,
yourself up.
I think because all of us put too much emphasis on the past and the future, and
Massive.
very few of us live in the actual moment.
Yeah.
Or and what you're talking about is creating more moments, really.
Yes, definitely.
Throughout your life, which is what life is all about, really. And we
Yeah.
kind of lose that a little bit, don't we? And get
Yeah.
like stuck in the details of, like you say, work and chores and the stuff that we have to do, and then we're
Yeah.
not making time for them moments, and we're not looking for them new moments that could spark something in us, or create them memories, really.
Definitely. I think what gets in the way is fear, finances. I'm worried about it's the unknown, isn't it? I just find if you can look after your energy is everything. I just find you will find your way. We already got a way as ways of living or lifestyle or style of your life. But if you keep up with the Joneses, they're boring. Don't keep up with the Joneses. They're absolutely boring because they're trying to keep up with them. There's a vicious circle going on. So do not. If someone inspires you, think, oh, I like how he talks, I like how he dresses. I'm not saying to have exactly the same living room with him, the same or same corners, trying to have the same garden, but don't be jealousy will block out, envious will block out. Be happy for people. And when you're happy for people, you'll open up and you think, oh. And you don't realise, because I think what I've said over there is anybody who I've hated or disliked or done something for me, I've said this to me. It might be off the cuff. So, one person I thought wrecked my life. If I were to need CPR and I had a heart attack on the street, would he give me CPR? Really weirdly, the answer is yes, he would. Why am I giving him so much hate? Or her? Why? I'm wasting my life. They don't know what you're thinking or going through or stressing. So I'll repeat. Anybody, and people say, oh no, I go past them. Ego. No, life is precious. Sometimes you can't buy life, you got to earn it. However you live, how long you live, or wherever, it's all down to decisions and consequence. But I really to be the best life coach of mine, or the best life coach, and it would be for me to be the best person, to be my best life coach, I had to let go a couple of things. And that's what helped me so much for that person who I A, B, C, and kept talking about. If I needed a CPR on the street, would they give it to me? Boom, gone. I just think people like more. I just really think it's attention seeking. Hey, don't anybody listen to this, don't go thinking, oh, no. I'm an attention seeker. I love the attention from my wife, Dad, you're a good father. I wish she said that more often, but it's finding it. And if you take anything personal, you are losing out. If you were judging people, you are losing out. If you're thinking about the past, good stuff, you're not losing out. If you're thinking about the bad stuff or whatever, you're losing out. If you learn from the stuff we all been through, you're learning and living. It's that. It's very important to carry on regardless. There's a couple of sayings. Is the fisherman or the sailor in the dock is not the best fisherman. He's in the dock. He's not going through his trawler breaking, the engine running down, the oil burning, the clutch going. The best sailors are out in our ocean catching fish, if they catch fish. So if we're in our house, in the dock, doing nothing, we ain't going to be learning anything. If you're out in our life, getting battered and touched and whatever, shined and rusted or whatever you want to call it, we're learning. It's unbelievable. It's inspirational. It's speechless sometimes. who knows, a journey. You just got to find it. There's no book out there. We didn't do painting in school. We didn't do bereavement in school. We didn't do breakup in school or finances. Half the teachers, and I'm not knocking them, they go through breakup and things. They're in the same place as us. Doctors, if they go through bereavement, they're in exactly the same place as us. If it's a maths teacher, they break up, they go through hell. They come to me. I'm like, you need to do piano lessons. You need to catch a fish. You need to fucking all. I can't do that. Well, there you go. You haven't done it for 30 years. You're not going to do it now, yeah, but you will. We'll get your passport. We'll get you euros. Where do you like cars? Another thing, cars, Greece. You're the Stoism?
Yeah.
Right, Stoism. So, Christoph, history teacher, Italian. Come to the valleys in the 80s. He was well bullied. Italian in the 80s in the valleys. Wow. Woof. He went through the ups and downs. Everybody thought he was kissing a girlfriend and all the jealousy and all the other stuff. But his mum had a fish shop down in Porthcawl, and he used to probably fight bare knuckle the valley people who'd have chips and run off and pay his mother. So he'd jump over the counter, run off, and he'd be fighting grown men. Give me my mother's money. Do you know what I mean? Strong as an ox. He done his degree PGC, become a history teacher. And the one I've always been a 70-year person I wouldn't want to punch off. Oh, I tell you what, you see him at the bag. Everyone was meant with glory and winning and wow, 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 all different angles and chin-ups. Oof, 17-year-old. I started training, he just liked how I punched the bag. And that's how we got on, because he walked in when I punched the bag, and I walked in and he said, how do you punch the guy? And I got bullied. I just punched the bag to hurt the bullied. And I never, do you know what I mean? So he said, oh, I'll have to book him with you. And as he got to know me, he said, Steve, you're really stoic. I said, Chris, what's that? Cereal. I'm from Rwanda now, mind, okay? So I try and keep things simple. Stoic. So should I pretend I know it? No, when you pretend you know stuff, you never learn. And I used to pretend to know stuff when I was younger. Please ask if you're not sure and say, look, like I said about the word earlier on, what's your point? What's your meaning of that? And you explain like, oh, right. So sometimes we think we know the answer and we're wrong. So we're not going to get it. And he said, oh, you're very stoic. And he said, what I'm trying to say, Steve, is Stoicism is Marcus Aurelius. And he said, it's understanding what you've been through, understanding what you're going through, and understand what you're going to go through, which no one knows. No one knows what's going to... My skirting board might come off the wall tomorrow. Stoicism is nail it, liquid, no nails or screws, but you got a solution. So I think being a stoic and a stoicism is understanding and learning, inspiring, showing, reacting, stopping, pausing, and watching. He said you involve everybody. You always think about other people, including yourself. You can relate to anybody from. He said, you talk about knitting, remote control cars, climbing trees, camping, sports cars, superbikes, motocrosses, flick knives, knuckle dusters, nunchucks, you name it, painting, wallpapering, plumbing, windows, or gardening, bricklaying, plastering, coving, put the chandeliers up, and like, oh. He said, the stoic, very stoic. He said, you just understand everything. You know, to put a plug on. I was like, oh, I think that's been a 90s kid. And that's all I want to show people now. So if someone's who's aged 15, or I say, do you clean your bedroom? Do you put the rubbish off your mother? Because who's going to pay for your driving lesson? Happy people buy you more ish. So if you're a youngster watching this, just do your bedroom. It's gonna help you big time over the next 30, 40 years. So yeah, it's that. Can I ask you one or two questions?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
What is your pet hate?
Oh, my pet hate. That's a difficult one, that for me, Steve, because I'm very, very laid back, really.
Neutral. Well, no, that's the answer.
I'm very laid back, but I will just say I do struggle with like being around negativity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a
It's
pet peeve. It's not something that gets me angry or agitated, but
yeah.
I struggle with it because it kind of pulls me in a little bit, and I have to work really hard to fight it.
Yeah.
But I'm really easygoing, and I generally I'm pretty open minded and flexible with it, so I don't really have anything that kind of like sets me off, if you know what I mean.
I think that's luck. I think that, but that's down to emotional intelligence, what being shown or learned as well. And 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 I guarantee, if someone broke into your house, you'd have a pet hate. This is my place. Out. So what I'm trying to say, you don't have to have a pet hate. You get, because I think that's good, because if you find you got a pet hate, sometimes you can magnetize and grow it. I think you're just wasting your time. And next door neighbour parks outside your house. What we do, Jamie, is I don't like Lidl's. I wouldn't shop in Lidl's because they haven't got the brands. What we do. So do you get me? In COVID, Lidl's and all the other things helping each other. So I think sometimes a pet hate can be a negative anchor. And
Yeah,
mine is excuses. And if I say to someone, stop making excuses, am I reminding them they're making excuses? Should I just not even talk about it? So there's certain ways that we should approach and not approach. Step back. It's so we want to help. We want to be right. We want to fix things. And it's step back. Literally. So I think not on a pet date, I think is a neutral thing. I think it's good. Because if you've got 10 pet dates every day, someone's going to do your head in. You're going to eat more chocolate, go back to trauma, not go fishing, forget about the spa weekend, forget about a date night, forget about washing your car. I think it'll make it's like a negative. Maybe, hey, people got different opinions out there. Please say.
yeah. Well, the way I look at it is, if like, because I see people who have pet hates or get irritated by these little things and
Oh,
annoyed by silly things, but for me, like whatever's happening or happened,
yeah,
it's up to me whether I choose to let that impact me. So
definitely.
if I let that impact me, that's me allowing it. That's me having that feeling and that emotion. Like, rather than, it's not their fault, whatever they've
No,
done or whatever's happened. That's just me not being able to just take a step back, really.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I'm pretty good at taking a step back generally with stuff, and I'll just be like, just
Yeah.
like let it go, not
It's
let it bother me.
because you save the energy for something else which is needed in your life, then, see? Is it like your daughter, and what you're doing is showing your daughter that. Or you're showing the people around that. For me, I want to show, so anybody comes to me, if you got children, I want them to show their children how to live an amazing life, to be positive, to let things go, to not live in the past. And if someone comes to me and they got like loads of pet hates, oh my word, they are living so wastefully. I think they need to get a grip.
Yeah, well, negative emotions and feelings and that, you spend so much energy on them, don't you? Like,
Of course they do.
and for nothing, it doesn't achieve anything.
Yeah, they just live in the head rent free, don't they? That's why it's people are stressing or got pet hate, and I hope that pet hate might be someone mourning work, but you don't realise they might lost a baby. You don't realise their parents are broke up. You don't realise they might have cancer. You don't realise they might be moving to Switzerland and they miss the team or wherever they're going, or you really don't know what. Since when he opened his eyes up in the morning, he might have broke down on the way to work. So the pet, it might be, oh, Mrs. Jones says, do my head and she never talks to me. Do her a cup of tea, offer a biscuit, buy you something. Break the routine, break the habit. Oh, I wouldn't go now. Oh, I'm not. Whoa, stop. Stop judging. Pull back. Because if you're judging, you need to start doing this. Point the thumb at yourself. Because I think pet dates, like you say, could be a person or an object or something. But I just think you're literally wasting valuable time. Or I hate this, or that, blah blah blah. I think it's time wasting.
Yeah,
Because if you're on your deathbed and someone said to you, look, you've been mourning for about 10 years. Do you want your 10 years back? Do you join Dad in 10 years? Yes, please. You're not going to say, oh no, I want to die. So if you're on your deathbed, you want time. You survive and feel last breath. You want to go home. You want that Chinese on a Saturday. You want to say your sorries. But mourning, I think, is wasting people's life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you mourn more or pet it, I think you smoke more, you drug more, you drink more, you eat chocolate more. I just think it's not a. It's good to mourn. It's good to have a pet date, but I think it gets boring if you stay for 40 years.
Yeah, I think, and I think with people are on their deathbed and they look back and could do it again, they do it differently. A lot of them as well.
Yeah.
Take more of the joy out of life and stuff. There is a quote that I quite like that says, I think it says every man, but I mean every person really. So every person has two lives, and the second one starts when they realize they only got one.
Wow, unbelievable. It's fab. It's out of all your podcasts. What? If it was a couple of things, what have you learned from doing it all, from people, from myself, from you yourself? Because this is a big ask to go to interview and talk as well.
It's been really quite eye-opening, really, and I've been really fortunate where I've had some really good guests with lots of different experiences in life, lots of different areas. But I've been fortunate enough that everybody I've had on has been willing to be vulnerable, and it's shown me that no matter how what you look at people, everybody has something. They're different issues and different struggles and whatever else, and different ways of coping with it. There's no right way essentially, but a lot of people, I just think it's everybody. I think it's everybody, even the people who don't admit it. Everyone has stuff going on, don't they? That that they struggle with, that they have challenges with. I just think it's taught me to be a bit more conscious and to dig a little bit more, really. Not too intrusive with people.
No, definitely not.
Where they're comfortable with, but to figure out, what's going on, how I can be more mindful and better about about them, really, rather than just my own self and what I've got going on.
I think the magic is in moving on, because I think you might go to a council, they dig it up, they pick the scam, and I think it's about moving on. So if let's say we're in Puerto Rico and I hire a jet ski and I say, Aaron, get on the back, buddy. I don't like get on the back. I get on the back. Hold me. Come on, get on the back. No, when you hit the waves, boom, boom, boom. It's gonna take your mind from it. It's like I went to Siam Park, Tenerife, and it was me, my daughter, and my missus, and I just had one. I don't get days. Obviously, I do. I'm a woman. I feel I don't get days. So we went to, and I'm not sure if I wasn't lean enough, or I was going to bump into someone I know in Tenerife, Siam Park, and then this massive slide on the left hand side. And next time you go there, you make sure you go on this slide if you like height or don't. If you don't like sharks or do or whatever, you need to go on it. And my Alexa goes, I guess, Dad, go on there then. All right. So it was probably on a rating 1 to 10. 10, I would have done it. I was feeling 1. I wanted to see jam sandwiches and just watch everybody on the water park. It was one of them days. I don't know what. I was in Tenerife, all inclusive. Why was I feeling this emotion? And so what happened? I didn't want to show my daughter. She felt it probably, and she probably said, Dad, go on there. She distracted me. She's emotion intelligent. So I went up there, talked to this Polish guy, talking rubbish on there probably, and his slide was like that. I looked up his steps and I went up. I said this Polish guy, right, who's first? Me or you? He went, you. So I went on it, and as I was flying down the slide, I mean free falling, I was shouting the biggest F word, the park, longest F word the park I've ever experienced, from a valley, Steve Waller. My daughter and my missus looked like that at the bottom. It was so high up. I was just looking at it like, my neck, I couldn't bend my neck forward. Straight through the shark tunnel. And I tell you what, the day fitted all into place. I done the biggest, like they say, eat the biggest frog first or eat the monster first, yeah? That just cleared all my tubes out, all my mindset, all my emotions, and I ate everything in that water park 3-4 times with a little bit of a Popeye stance and walking around. So it just cleared me. But if she didn't, I would have been probably low self-esteem. I'll do it tomorrow, Lex. So we come back tomorrow. We'll put off. Do you know what I mean? And I would have probably eaten more crap and felt a little bit gooey and there. So, but I think sometimes you need to clean the cobwebs out massively. Not little steps, definitely big steps. And another thing which I learned over COVID, or heard, sorry, it's okay not to be okay. I disagree a little bit. So if you're not okay for 40 years, is that okay? So if you said, it's okay not to be okay for 40 years, and you're not okay for 40 years, that's not good for anybody or yourself. It's not, I'm going to repeat. So if anybody has a go at me at this, don't, because I'm going to repeat. It's okay not to be okay, but not for long. You find out what's good for you. Don't know, I can't run down the hill. I don't want to go to a shooting range, it's dangerous. So I always wanted to play nunchucks. Buy them, don't tell anybody. I want to make a tree cabin or a house tree. Do it. Don't tell loads of people who like, cost a lot of money for nails. Where are you going to get the wood from? Do it. Do it. And just do it. Do it. Just do it. Just take the just in it. Do it. Don't give yourself any thought process. Boom. Literally.
Yeah, I think it's okay to not be okay thing. I think the problem with that is if you're surrounded with people who kind of mollycoddle you a little bit as well,
Yeah.
and like, you know,
Take too much.
you're feeling sorry for yourself, and you feel
Yeah.
and you're down in the dumps, and people are like, oh, okay, and nobody's kind of pushing you to get out of that. You can stay in that, and you could be in it for years. You know, we could spend decades in that place,
Or life. I know
being
life.
the victim, being negative, and you really hate life.
And
At the end of it.
and pity pod yourself. And don't forget, if someone's listening to this and saying, "Oh, they talk about," no. If you connect with what we're saying, it means you can relate to it. So that means you need to look after yourself more. So if someone takes what I say personal, it's hitting the nail on the head. So it means do something about it. So it's like I probably wasn't feeling okay going to Siam Park. I don't know what, I couldn't put my finger on it. My daughter says, "Go on here, Dad." I go on here, and then all of a sudden, through screaming as loud as I can, think I'm going to die, it just clears everything out. I become super dad. I'm going in a wave machine, danger, I'm right up into it. I am doing risk taking all day. I'm literally, so if I didn't listen to my daughter, then I wouldn't have been okay all day in our water park. I wouldn't have done all them slides. I wouldn't have got my missus a cup of coffee times 4. I wouldn't have been a waiter for my daughter. Lex, what do you want? Do you know what I mean? Or Clay, what do you want? I wouldn't have been the happy servant I was all day. I would have been doom and glooming. So me going on that big step, people say baby steps. Sometimes, leap off. Throw yourself off that cliff and good luck. Because there is a parachute on there and it's up to you when you're going to pull it. I'll probably pull it last minute, really push the boat out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, adrenaline junkie. So it's power bands on a KX80 to catching a fish, to painting your first painting, to, I don't know, buying your favourite settee, to, I don't know, running out the toilet roll and you remembered to get it, or take our parcel out of the post office, which your missus has been saying for 5 weeks and you forgot, and you got to pay extra for it. So it's don't beat yourself up. Do something about it.
Yeah.
Live
And
and
I
learn,
think,
practice and learn.
yeah. And I think kids are really great for that because they're naturally curious and they naturally want to see and do new things.
Big
And
time.
I think rather, like you said before, I think rather than shutting them down, we need to actually go with that flow a little bit and
Big time.
let us have that inner child experience a bit more as well and let that out. And it does change your life.
It's so, like I said to my daughter as well. Now she owes me a Siam Park slide, okay? And I'd be like, "Oh no, I hope all goes to plan." She's 14. I said to her funny enough the other week. I said, "Oh Lex," I said, "we need to go back to Tenerife." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You owe me the slide," and she just laughed because I didn't overly think. I didn't put her off. I didn't retreat this course. So you retreat to do something you want. I didn't show her anything of pausing. I went, "See you later, Jamie." So, and she laughed. But if she was being bullied in school that day, and I asked about Siam Park Tenerife, boom, she just remembered me screaming naughty words for a long period of time down Siam Park side. So I've taken her from bullying from school. It reminds them different things all of a sudden now. But then it makes us have open conversations. And I can say, "Oh, how was your day been today? Have a good day in school, Lex." I say, "Oh, look, everything going okay in school?" "Yeah, when the teachers need to see you, Dad." Blah, 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 whatever. And like, I think there's a lot of people who need to find a fishing rod. Or I think there's some people in there have lost their fish, Dad. And I'm like, well, we're on a journey, babes, and we just make sure you're kind to them. From bully, just make sure you're kind. Doesn't matter if someone's a bully to you, be kind to them. Don't let them in your circle. Your eyes, sword, carotid artery, solar plexus, and middles, self-defense, grab them a guard. 360 in front and 360 around out. Just make sure you're safe. I think going on that as well, when me learning how to handle myself, hey, I'm not Mike Tyson, definitely not. But feeling safe. I think feeling safe for me was a breakthrough. So if someone were to come onto my street, I'd definitely walk away. The best self-defense is walking away. But if someone did break into my house, or did do this, or did do that, I'd have a good reaction to it. Number one is use your trainers and walk away. If someone were to grab you, or if it's guns, knives, etc., you only can do what you can do. Yeah? But I think bullies don't pick on happy people. I guarantee.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So if you're going into school and your head's down, or on work, and you can't take banter, you come to my class like a hen and stag party. It resets people. So when you go into work and someone says, oh, you're lazy, blah, blah, I call them worse in the class. At first, they like you can't talk to people like that. Why? I'm a 90s kid. That's how people talk to me. So someone says, oh, Stevie Ball, big nose, coot, or whatever you want to call it. I'm like, it's just a word. No emotions to it. If my daughter says, oh, you're not a good father in an argument, I know it. If my missus says, oh, you're a crap husband, hey, you're not perfect, but I do my best. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't gamble. We go on date nights. I'm pretty good around the house. I work my knackers off. I work smart and hard as well. Every day I think I couldn't have done anything more. Sometimes I could have probably worked less, which I am today. So I'm glad we booked this off because I booked a morning off. I don't normally book mornings off. So this, to me, believe it or not, is my practical therapy. Talking and doing this for, what, 2 hours? Wow. Wow. People would love to talk to us for 2 hours. But
Yeah.
now they can put online and they can listen to us 2 o'clock in the morning. Because if someone were to book in with me or you got to go by appointment normally. And that's not being horrible or posh or snobby. People can't knock on my door and say, look, Steve, can you train me for an hour? I was like, sorry, I got to do dishes. You can book in or whatever the case is. So I think doing stuff like this can make people reach you 24/7. And this is, wow, this is a therapy and a half. If someone wants to use it or learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it helps me having these conversations with people like you, and the great people have managed to have on,
Yeah,
because it helps me, and I think by me and you and whoever else we have on the show being open and vulnerable,
yeah,
and talking about it, it actually helps other people maybe people who are not ready to be vulnerable yet, but they can listen to this, in private,
yeah,
essentially, or
yeah,
without
yeah,
having to share anything or be that bold yet, but it might get them closer to that step where they feel
yeah,
like actually maybe I can be that vulnerable person. Maybe I can start looking in the mirror, what I want and what I need to fix, and like how
yeah.
I can get to that place where I'm happy and content with life.
Yeah, it's. I just find I want people to find themselves sooner. I'm just like a psycho in happiness. I'm like, no, 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 no. It doesn't work like that. I'm like, yeah, but it does. Yeah, but take me 46 to learn 46 years, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm still forgetting or whatever. Because I get excited. I found my 90s kid. Do you know what I mean? It's like COVID. Sounds crazy. It was the best thing that ever happened. Not having COVID or losing people from COVID. The experience of COVIDness was come up to COVID, I had all the hobbies and didn't use them. I had hammocks, air guns, nunchucks, knuckle dusters, flick knives, super bikes, motocrosses, skimboards, surfboards, bodyboards, dumbbells. I had a garage, a gym which I wasn't using. I was going up to the gym all the time. As soon as COVID hit, I turned into a gardener. I turned into the best dishwasher ever. I turned into a best waiter, and I was shooting my sling in the garden. And people were like, oh, COVID is bad. And Claire said, I remember, there's a song with Sam Smith. There was a song, I can remember, she said, you know you're not going to work tomorrow, don't you? I said, what do you mean? I'm training 50 people this week. She said, you can't. I said, what am I going to do then? I had no savings. I think I found £1.50 underneath my van seat. That was probably for chocolate if I found it, 10x cakes. Or can of Monster now and again, don't knock me, I'm only human. And I just like, she said, no, serious, you can't go work. So on YouTube, and my friend said, "Oh, you got to start videoing your workouts." Definitely not. So my first 2 workouts were, and I can tell I'm like nervous, like, do that, do this, 3 sets of 10. I'm on my flat roof and I'm walking on, I can hear it breaking, creasing and cracking. I think, oh no, it's peak of summer. My first COVID video was on my flat kitchen roof. Then if I were to video around, it looked like it tipped my garden. So I literally polished and pledged and silicone this corner of the garden, bought the box off from the boys' Fletcher, Steve Wall personal trainer, and just done minute workouts on YouTube. I think it's 300 things. But for me to do videos in front of people, hey, I'm a 90s Valley boy. Do you get me? Back in the day, you do your videos, you edit everything. But it's like, if I lisp, if I stutter, if I pick my nose, if I cough, if I sneeze, if I got wrinkles off my eyebrows and all done, I've done my eyebrows as well for this, I'm looking sharp. but what I'm trying to say is too much pressure. And I think when you just focus on just doing it, just do it. If you don't know how to ride a bike, do it. If you don't know how to paint a wall, do it. If you want to do your own podcast, do it. If you want to start your own business, do it. But find the foundation, research, don't put her off, do it. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. And keep on doing it until you get it right. Not perfect, until you feel you're doing it right. Same as relationships, same as career, same as if you're, I don't know, going to go into any your own business, self-employed. Find out how to do it, but don't keep on finding out how to do it. Do it, apply it, act on it. Don't research for 20 years and then never start a business. Start the business, then start researching. Because you'll only learn, not when you pass your driving test, when you scratch your Ford Fiesta 957 Poplar Plus on a multi-storey car park in Cardiff. Oh no! Didn't do it again. I didn't do it on my driving lesson because I was perfect, trying to be perfect. Yeah, indicator, in yeah, mirror check. No, don't go through life mirror check. Sometimes you just got to drive. And you learn, you build instincts up. You'll build natural defenses, instincts, happiness. But if you've got too many pet hates, you forget it all. If you've got too many worries and overthinking and stressing, don't get me wrong, all them are good in proportion and balance, whatever that is. But I know, if I'm greasing the bearings on my skateboard, that's all I'm thinking about. Because I know I'm going to go on that longboard and skate. If I know I'm going camping on a weekend and get my sleeping bag, my bike, my diesel litres working, and I clean my van and have my pod for the morning, get some steak, get a little pit fire, I know I got something to look forward to. When I light the fire, when I go on a mountain bike, press turbo and be lazy on the weekend, don't judge me. E-bikes not for lazy people, for fun people. When I use my Perham 2 torch when I can't see in the dark, when I need a wee halfway through the night. Or I buy a little pea thing from Amazon for £2, saved me getting out of the van. Us guys like torches, pen knives, hobbies, bikes, engines, wheels normally, yeah? If you're like Billy Elliot, crack on. Definitely do what you love doing. Do what you want to do, not what people want you to do. You find yourself. And don't give up, which means it's my business. So DGO Steve Wall, which means DGO, don't give up and don't grow up. So what that means is don't give up on wherever your goal is. Sometimes I wing life. I just put effort in every day. Effort will attract what you want. Energy, happiness will attract, even sadness will attract what you want. But don't stay in a dimension which you're dragging yourself down with others. I would never want to drag my daughter down. My first dog passed away, Shep, years ago. I would never mention it every day. Oh, I miss Shep. Oh, Lexia, I wish we had Shep again. Oh, it's my first. It's like, Dad, you're getting boring now. Like, come on. Come on, let's go horse riding, Dad. Oh, no, I can't because of Shep. Shep would have come with us and he would have run by the side of the horse. Oh, Shep is like, what are you on about? Do you get it? So going back to, if anybody passes away, I know I'm flicking stories now, is if any of you people watching this have lost someone, make them proud. Don't stop putting things off. Don't put off to Monday. Just start. Literally, get your diary and put in, I have to show mine. I got my work, but I got me time. fun time, study accounts, horse riding, camping, date night. So it'll be date nights every 4 weeks approximately. I'll do horse riding 2 to 3 times with my daughter. I'll go to car shows with my son every 2 times a year. So I'm juggling, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I haven't seen John and Phil. Let's go and have a pack of bourbon biscuits, bag of chips, and play Mario Kart. So it's wheeling and dealing. You only got 24 hours in a day. But I know I'm spending an hour training 7 days a week. I will rip myself up for half hour and get in and get out. Literally, sometimes I do a minute, sometimes I will do an hour. But if I do Monday, do this, Tuesday, do that, I got to clean, I got to go shopping, I got to do chest, I got to do back, it's a lot to do. So a lot of people put things off because they put too much time on it. Well, washing the dishes is only 5 minutes. But in my head, it's an hour. I'm not doing it. I haven't got time for that. Okay, so I wash the dishes. All right, I got to do it. Whoa. Change your duration, what your mind is saying about what you need to do. Write a
Yeah.
list, write a to-do list. You will
Yeah,
forget. Don't forget all the time.
Yeah, get it out of your head as well, innit? Because sometimes if we got lots of things to do in our head, we're just so overwhelmed that we'll just get to
Too
the point
much.
where we just procrastinate and we won't do any of it.
Definitely. I can remember Richie, one of the boys, he's a manager in a council, and he used to come out. He used to love mountain bike. He got about 6 mountain bikes, all different types. But he hasn't got an e-bike, though. I hope he has now. But he used to come up and he used to offload, and I don't mind. But he used to offload about, I hope he's listening to this as well. And he used to offload, I've counted up about 21 things. Boom. Family, work, garden, neighbours, partner says that, boom. And I thought, 1, 2, 3. And so I said, Rich, stop. Stop. I said, right, what I'm doing, I grabbed 21 things upstairs and energetics in the gym. So I had punch pads, boxing gloves, I had wraps, baseball bats, Krav Maga knives and guns. And I said, right, foam rollers. So I even had a Swiss ball, and I had him to carry as much. I think he carried about 12 things. And I said, right, go against the wall, put your head against the Swiss ball. And I said, right, go down now, go to the toilet, all that, carry that. So what do you mean I can't? I said, why are you carrying around in your head for one? You're carrying hundreds of things around in your head on your shoulders a day. I said, you're coming in, and I said, you only can carry so much stuff physically, but mentally we can carry 100 years of memories, 100 years of what we need to do, but what I was finding, he wasn't going mountain biking. So when he goes mountain biking, he'd be saying, I went up the Bulk this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't say nothing about some parking outside the house. Wouldn't say nothing about work. And I was like, So I said to him, like, wait a minute, don't carry him. I said, when's the last time I mountain biking? I've been busy in work. You don't have to go 3 hours on a mountain bike. Why don't you just go for half hours? No point. Of course there is. I said half hour, something would be better than 3 hours. So when you go mountain biking, it's like a bottle of pop. And when we do stuff that we enjoy, which is good for us, down to cleaning dishes, knitting, I don't know, singing, going to church, or chandeliers, or buying pictures, or going surfing, release. Release. Don't moan about you only had 2 hours kip last night. You put too much value on it. You will sleep better tonight. Forget about that. Focus on that. Do your training. You might go on a bench press and do a person PB. Oh, I can't. I've only had 2 hours sleep. Get on it. Do it. You might have had chocolate all week and just come back from Prague with the boys. Bench press. Do the dishes. Go to work. Do the podcast you don't feel like. Just do it. You'll never regret it. And if you do, tough. Get on with it. Sorry. There you go.
That's all right. No, I like it. No, it's right as well, to be fair, because, I felt like crap and like had like no sleep and stuff, and gone to the gym and had
Yeah.
some amazing sessions. And I've gone to
Yeah,
the
get on
gym.
with it.
I've gone to the gym and everything's been right and feeling good, and had awful sessions. So
Yeah.
it's just that mindset thing again about like approaching it, and it's easy to put stuff off. It's easy to find an excuse.
It's
If I want to find an excuse not to do something, I can come up with one easy, and
it's
my mind will go to it as well a lot of the time. If it's because we've got so much comfort now. Like I could just sit in the living room. I could just drink tea, eat biscuits, watch TV, and
exciting.
just not do anything. And
I'll be over now if you have biscuits. There you go.
I'm obsessed with biscuits. I'm terrible for
Yeah.
it, but but I allow myself that because then I go to the gym and I do other stuff and I
Yeah,
generally eat
exactly.
healthy other time. You know what I mean? That's how I find my balance. But but it's so easy now, especially like with phones and everything, not to do anything, not to interact with people, not to go outside, not to do new things. It's actually easier not to, and to come up with an excuse. And I think we're all guilty of falling into that trap a little bit. And we need to like find our way a little bit and find, even when we don't want to do stuff, sometimes we know it's good. We know really it's good for us. So again, we need to step back and go, actually, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like it right now, but once I'm there doing it, I'll be fine. And afterwards, I'll feel so much better.
And I think what you find, right, in January, my New Year's resolution, okay, so I've gone to, I do motivational talks and like, Octopus Energy, Property Plus, all of the top business around here, okay, Admiral Insurance, Swans, so I'm like, you could say they motivator. So I improve people to have less sick rate and have more family time, more daytimes, and look after the house, look after this from their career, work backwards. And I thought, right, I need to do a pep talk, a motivational seminar or chat or meetup monthly. This is hard for me because although I am confident, if I deliberately plan it, I retreat. So I thought, right, I'm going to do January, February, March, and I'm literally done every month, right? But January, February, March, right, I had personalised pens, I had paper, I done my eyebrows, I come and smell, I had a shower, I had my water bottle, the lights were right, I had the music, and, right. One of the best seminars I've done was probably July. I was on top of the mountain on a Sunday. My pep talks are 6 to 9. I was covered in horseshit. All right. I'm had et all day. If you had a pack of meter Jaffa cakes, I would have ate them there and then without even chewing them. I would have hooved them in. I said, okay, go come down. I got 7.5 hours. I was like, what? It takes me 15 minutes to get to Clydach Lakeside. Straight down, shit all over me, literally coming sweaty. Oh, I was buzzing. I went in, no pens. I already had my stuff. I played, wow. I said to them, guys, gals, sorry if I'm buzzing full of shit. Because I was organic, people are coming in suits. I said, guys, come in your pajamas if you want. Seriously. This is a chat. It's not a wedding. Yeah, if you want to come in your tuxedo, it's up to you. I'm going to come as Steve Wall. I'm just coming as I am. I might wear jeans, I might not. I might come in my slippers and flip-flops or wherever, my budgie smugglers. Fancy dress, and I've done a fancy dress one as well. It's just like, don't worry about it. Sometimes it is good to plan. If you've got a job interview, I'm not saying to go fancy dress, but do you get what I mean? Do your thing. But what I'm trying to say is don't put too much pressure because it can stop your flow. And sometimes when you be more you, you'll attract more like-minded people. Full stop. Because if you try to attract the wrong people and doing the wrong things, it takes too much money and energy. Definitely. You'll always be skint, mentally and physically.
And sustaining it as well. If it's not who you are, then how are you going to sustain? Because you're playing a character essentially, aren't you? If you're not being yourself. And I think, especially now, because we had so long now of these like overproduced fake stuff on social media and all over the place, that people are actually looking for real now. They're looking for authentic, and
I call it Gary V. Best thing I ever heard, and Clay said to me a couple of years ago, Shed, as this guy was effing on. I was like, what? He had a beanie hat on. I was like, what? Shed, he's like you, man. I said, what do you mean? Shed, listen to him. And it was his first thing. I have to try and find the first video, and I was like, he is so bang on. He is so bang on. For me, some people might not like it, most of the course, but I can relate to him. I can relate to him because his upbringing, his push, his drive. I used to work for all my school holidays in junior school and comp and college to get money for my dumbbells, money for my hobbies. So where my mother couldn't afford it, if your mother can't afford it, don't rely on your parents or someone for money. Get it yourself, stop being lazy. So if you want a peg gun, make it. If you want a gun, save for it. Don't go out smoking. So if on a super bike, don't go out on a drinking all the time. Take off Peter to give to Paul. Use your money wisely. People say about passive income and stuff. I understand. It's good to make money when you're sleeping. It's not that easy to start. Once you start, if you buy property and rent property and all the other stuff, and buy gold and watches and silver, whatever, and Bitcoin, wherever. If you had 3 days to live, you'd want to do the sling, go fishing, cut your loved one. So I think sometimes we got to watch, we're not living out there where everybody's chasing. It's good to chase, but if you're living out there, this is where life is. If someone's living a virtual world, hey, it might be a millionaire, billionaire, oh, that's their journey. I've had people, millionaires, billionaires, homeless, they want to be like me. I'm like, whoa. Let's find yourself. Learn from me, because I'm learning from you. And that's the magic. We're helping each other. If you were thinking better than anybody, you're not learning from them. The most people can learn from is yourself and other people. But if it's one-sided, you're just building them all up. So I think too much emphasis is on the chase. I think it's I don't know. I think people are living out there already. We live in our head, but there's this thing. It's like me, Vino Tinto. I'm doing it because it creates a vibe. If I get a fab, if I don't get a fab. So if someone pass their driving test, fab. If you fail, fab. It's meant to be. If you're in a happy relationship, fab. If you're in a shit relationship, fab. It's meant to be. You learn from it. If you want to stay, it's up to you. If you want to move on, it's up to you. If you're in a good job, fab. If you're in a shit job, fab. Up to you if you want to stay or go. You're just a learning curve. People say to me, oh, I got bad head, good. What do you do? Drink water. Do you get me? If you got bad head, it might be a tumour. Or you think so, don't Google it, go to the doctors. Let's get some specific information. Don't overthink. Don't overstudy. Apply. React. Nip in the bud. Do it. Do what you've got to do. So whatever you're going through, which is good, anybody's listening, say, if you're going through shit, fab. Sounds bad. No pun intended. Still look after yourself. Still take your kids on a park. If you've got asthma, cancer, or you lost your job or you break up, still take your kids on a park. I don't care. I care about your kids. Wherever you go through, if you feel, oh, I'm not too sure today, kids on a park. Literally. If you want something, if I say to Alexa, she's in here today now, Lex, come down, my darling. For what, Dad? I don't know. Nothing. She's not going to come down. If I say, Lex, trifle, wow, I'm straight in the kitchen. Right, what are we doing, Dad? Right, you're going to make a custard. I'll get the milk, Dad. Right, what are we going to use? Where's a whisker? Wow. Purpose. Fun. So I call a trifle principle. Will make trifle my daughter. And there's different ways of that. So horse riding, holidays, drawing, helping her with the dishes, calm them down. Because I could probably build 5 blocks of flats or a dish up in her bedroom at the moment. She's 12, not 13, 14, sorry. But I'm around saying, get your dishes down from the bedroom, Lex, yeah? And Lex, we bring your dishes down. Dad, stop, keep it on. Okay, all right. Lex, Mum's going to kill us. So literally, I got a little bag and go up into a bedroom and then I'd take probably 4 walls of dishes down into the thing and later wash them. But then when she comes home, oh, thanks, Dad. So it's what I take. Where my missus can find all the spoons, oh, wow. Where's all the spoons gone? Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. Another problem. Yeah. So do you guys? So I'm like, Lexia, dishes, or it's not my fault. I have told him. Whoa, step back.
Yeah, and it's that our attitude and behaviour affects other people as well, and that's what we've got to realise as well. So if we go in up here and we're all angry or shouting or negative, people will
Yeah.
react in a negative way because they take that on, especially kids, because they're not as,
What's that?
they're still learning their emotions and everything else, aren't they?
And we
So,
are.
yeah, of course we are.
Yeah.
But I think especially with kids, like, because we are also teaching them how to behave, aren't we?
Definitely.
Because it doesn't matter what you tell them, they learn from what they see and what
Yeah.
they pick up from the environment a lot. So
Yeah.
if we just go it up here because we want them to do something, they're not doing it, rather than actually, a lot of the time, if you just explain to them why,
Yeah.
they'll do it. Or or if you say, you show them like you've done that,
Yeah.
oh, you're not in it on your own, we're in it together kind of attitude.
Yeah.
I think that just changes the whole dynamic.
And I think a painting, I think a magic in a painting says showing them and explaining or telling them. Yeah, tell. All depends on what you think telling is said. But I don't think it's one-sided, see, painting. I think it got to be a two-way thing. It's not, you don't do this. Don't go do that because that's naughty. That's wrong. But I just find, there's a good book, Paradox for Children. It's story based. So it goes through life scenarios, anger, it goes through tiredness, excitement, anxiousness, and it literally it's like the being afraid of the dark or the monster underneath your bed. And from a young age, I started doing our Alexia, bullying. Oh, and I talked to her in one section. She said, "You haven't got bullied, have you, Dad? Would bully you? They must be off your head." But she thought she's the only one going through all the experiences. So if you're telling, I think, explaining about experiences, if you've got something, so I use this book as a cinema to talk about it, or as information, which if I said to Alexia, I got bullied, I did, she's like, and? Because it was a book, it brought more information out. Because we was relying on that, rather than us two, there was less pressure maybe, and when I said about my story, so I told about, I know, my first crush and getting bullied and I don't know how to do maths. And she's like, oh, sounds like me, Dad. So it was just this another journey of everything is right, actually. I don't know. No matter what, if you're good at something, good. If you're not good at something, good. It's just a learning curve. So I think as well as adults, as children, I think it's important to talk, chat. But it's sometimes where we chat is we don't know how to chat. People skills. We don't know how to. It's like how's things? Yeah, good. How's family? Yeah, fab. How's work? Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. What are you up to? Oh, I go camp on the weekend. They don't tell you the car breaking down, the breakup, and your daughter running off and you can't find her. And they burnt the sausages and you forgot your torch and you don't know where the toilet's on, you peed the bed and you and your missus on the verge of breakup because you talk to someone like they were a client and blah blah blah. You don't see behind the scenes, and it should be behind the scenes Instagram, behind the scenes Facebook, and behind the scenes TikTok. They don't do, and we should maybe do behind the scenes podcast because I think that would help people's mental health, physical health, and how to.
Yeah, I think I think that is starting to happen more and more with sort of social media and stuff. I don't know if you
Yeah.
watch any podcasts. I watch a football podcast called Stick to Football,
Right.
and it starts the whole start of it is they just start recording as soon as they get in the studio. So like you
Yeah.
seeing them all coming in, they're getting their
Ooh.
makeup put on,
Yeah.
the microphones, they're just chatting before the show and stuff, and it's just really raw, and I
Yeah.
quite like that. That's why I like it. And I think there's more and more of that happening now, which
Yes.
people want to see.
Definitely.
People want to see that human side, not this overproduced,
Of course
fake
yeah.
stuff. They
Yeah.
want real. They want connection.
Yeah.
So
It's you see all these models and the fitness models, and let's see how they are when they're 46, 56. Because if you're not building your mindset up, I think you're always going to struggle. You can look perfectly physically, but if you're not helping your mindset on the way, I think that's it's a trouble waiting. It's a bomb waiting to explode. Do you know what I mean? And then people pretend everything's okay and it's not okay. And I think going down to the ingredients of it, fun, just fun there. Well, if you're struggling, like fun. If you're enjoying life, fun. Do you know what I mean? Kindness. It's going back to gratitude and just find your stuff, learn from people, ask people, go to old people's home. Do you know what I mean? And ask them, what's your, because my favourite thing is, what's your tip on life? What's your life tip? Mine is cringes. Oh, no. But a couple of people I've asked have passed away. And most of it is, don't work so much, have fun, spend time with your family, have more holidays, and drink more coffee. Or whatever. If you're an anti-coffee person, don't get me wrong, but these are tips that people know yeah now. So it's like all your wishes, all your dreams, if you've got the right system and principle or practice or morals or ways of living or lifestyle or style you like, I think you can't go wrong. You don't get perfect, but you can't go wrong. And if you feel you do go wrong, that is the lesson. The wrongness is the lesson. So if you fail, failing is good. If you don't fail, do you get me? You're not learning. It's the reason why I'm 46. I'm Steve All from the Wrong there. Probably one of the busiest one-to-ones personal trainers organically helping people with just under 60 people on committed suicide in the valleys. I should have my own TV program, but I enjoy what I do. Should I have my own TV program? It doesn't matter, but I will keep being kind, keep looking after yourself, keep things simple, back to basics. That's all it is. Don't make things complex. Talk,
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, and I think that kindness as well is not only to other people. I think it's also be kind to yourself as well is really
Have
important.
to. First priority.
Which we're bad for. I've been bad for a lot. You know, you get that negative self talk, and you're your own
Bullshit.
worst
Everybody
critic,
got it.
aren't you? Yeah, you're your own worst critic, and you know it's that whole thing. Before you start helping others, you need to start helping yourself. So
Big
I
time.
relate. I relate it to being, you know, on a plane and they show you like all the emergency stuff. So if the oxygen masks drop down, you need to put
Yeah.
yours on first before you can help anybody else.
Therefore.
Because if you pass out, you're no good to anyone.
Definitely. You got you got to look after yourself. Definitely. You have to. There's no whatever podcast is out there. Everybody's after happiness. Yeah, and I mean organic happiness, not artificial drugs. Drink. It's fun. It's excitement. It's going back to being a child. And I got a on my number plate. I got S7, Steve 7, because people used to say, "Oh, you're lucky." No, you create your own luck. I'm not lucky. It's just part of the draws. It's what you reap is what you sow. And DG is don't give up and don't grow up. And my daughter said that. Where I said don't give up, she said that means don't grow up as well. You know what? People always say I'll grow up, Dad, and people used to say I'll grow up now. See, you can't have BMXs now. You can't have skateboards, but why? So when COVID came, everybody's on a skateboard and walking mountains. I wanted to again slings and buy my weights off me. I can't wait to book in with you, Steve. You look more fun than all the other PTs because they're giving chicken and brock and bench pressing. It's finding your thing, and some people need to find that. And going to someone who's so. If you go to the runner PT, you can have a running program probably. So what I'd like, right? This is what I'd like everybody in the world to do a life coaching qualification. All the PTs, all the teachers, all the doctors, everybody in the world to have a life coaching qualification, because it's life tools and understanding. If I were to go and ask anybody in the lectures, don't unless you do psychology, but then when you go too much in psychology, I think it gets too grey and too deep and too boring, and that's all I want to do is ride a skateboard. After the people who like counsellors and stuff like that, this is another question. So anybody who give you advice, so if you go to a counsellor or doctor or teacher or anybody, a parent, and you're given advice, and they will say to you, have you got any more questions? And you're going to say, yeah. What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Because I know if you ask me what I do for fun, I got a lot of answers. It's when people got a lot of answers, they're already applying it. They go, I don't really know. What? You were taking advice off them? Which I'm not, no pun intended. Everybody who comes to me, I say, look, I want you to ask, so anybody gives you advice, what do you do for fun? Doctor, teacher, therapist, counsellor. Even if someone's doing a master's degree or they got masters in psychology in university, and please ask them what do you do for fun. Because it's okay to know all the tools, know all about how to do things, and pretend to do it. When you apply it, all comes down to brushing your teeth, having your breakfast, and doing what the fuck you like for a day. Full stop. So don't complex things, and people try and control you. Oh, you got ADHD, or you got Asperger's. Doesn't matter. You got asthma. Doesn't matter. Focus on what does matter. Don't focus on fixing it. Focus on catching that fish. Your asthma will become better. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. You getting bullied in school, catch a fish. Do something. Take your mind off it. Buy a frisbee. Literally, it all goes back to that practical therapy. If you like wearing wellies and whatever the wellies you want, Dunlop or posh ones, whatever, that is your therapy. Don't listen to your friend, oh, they're a lot of money, they blah, 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 wellies. Buy the wellies. Just tell him about them for 20 years. I had them free
Yeah.
from a pound shop.
Yeah, I live in Crocs, me. Live in them.
Yeah, I love Crocs.
I got loads of pairs. I got fur-lined ones. I've got yellow ones. I've got them
I
all.
won't
I wear
mind.
them.
I won't mind doing a marathon in Crocs. I feel really light in Crocs. 15 stone lightness, obviously, but yeah,
No,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. You
And
just got to be you, and just got to live them. Yeah, ultimately.
and I just want to thank you for doing this. What you're doing, the video, and it can be good at times. It can be not so good at times. It can be nervous at times. It can be inspirational at times. And I sometimes you'll come off a podcast and think, oh, I wasn't good. I guarantee you look at it, listen to it. You will learn a lot. Don't be too critic. Pull back, and everything is worth it. And just keep doing what you're doing, seriously, because this is what you're doing is inspiration, because you're leaving a legacy. My daughter can go on my Facebook if I were to go heaven now, and she knows what Dad's all about. What I'm doing is probably a 400-year plan plus. When I'm not around, I'm still learning people what it's all about. Buddha got whatever religion, but Buddhism it's not only one Buddha. I think it's like 20 of them, or I don't know. But what I'm saying, they learn off each. I don't. Steve Walter reset Steve Wall when he's reborn. Not when I say that. With the next generations, I want to learn off people. Learn off the cultures, the religion. Learn off them. Don't fight each other. Love each other. Enjoy each other. Kindness. Learn. Don't reinvent the wheel unless it's a new way. Yeah, definitely. But learn. Open the Bible. Open a Gary V book. Google how to have a good day. Google how to or YouTube how to be a good husband or a good father. Learn. Don't pretend to be good at stuff. Learn about stuff. You will. It's like that. It's like learning to drive. You try and learn to drive without to learn a driver or without a coach or without an instructor. I don't think you're going to pass your test unless you can block. Obviously, he's a natural. But what I'm trying to say, we do need. I got a coach. I've had a business coach for 30 years. Back in the 90s, I wouldn't have probably said that because it's embarrassing. No, I know everything. No. Of course I don't. This guy's 30 years in front of me. Well, 60 now. Everybody's a coach around you if you're willing to take what you need to take. So somebody who talk to on a bus stop going to work, they don't have to give you the advice of protein and carbs and what you should be doing. They might just talk about nothing. They might just talk. There hasn't got to be a purpose in it, because I think in the end, it doesn't matter what you talk about, because as long as it's kindness and love and appreciation and respect and listening to people, listen to them. The more you listen to people, the more you learn. Your daughter, your son, your mum, your grandmother, a lot of people pass away. I wish I asked them more questions. Well, listen and talk, ask questions. But we fear or respect our elders, which means we just listen to them. We don't we abide by them, and or we listen. We do what they want us to do. Ron say, Dad, how do you know how much money per week? Mum, how do you do them this year? I've learned the hard way. I've had to put a knife up into my arm. I've done this, and my mum would say, right, make sure that there's sharp knives on the side, and then you do it one by one. Right, you can have the spoons. Be careful you don't drop the glass wines in it, because with the heat and the coldness it'll snap, and you put your hand and you cut your hand on the wine glass. It's all lessons. We're all being coached if we want to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, we're not learning. And it don't have to be. I can ask my daughter, Lex, how to have a good day. And she'll probably like, do I love? All right, okay. It's that simple. There's no degree in it. There's no masters in this. It's just that.
It's just about being curious, isn't it? Really, just be
Yeah.
curious, and that's part of the reason why I do this show, because I'm curious and I like to ask people things and
That,
find out about other people. So I think
yeah.
that's really important. And
And
when it comes down to it, and you say like about kids and stuff, because like I could ask my daughter when she comes home from school, I'll be like, "How was school? Yeah, all right. What did you
yeah, just
do?
ask the different questions.
What do you do? Don't remember," because they are not the right questions, and that's not
No,
getting
it's
to the bottom of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Sometimes you might want to be with your daughter is do this. Right. Does she know how to game off, don't touch hide and literally throw
Yeah,
hide and seek. Just say right, hide and seek, 5 seconds, you're on it. Count now. And just run off. Even if she doesn't play hide and seek with you, just hide in that cupboard under the bed until she sees you. Or take the pillows off your bed, put them on the side and just lie across pretending the pillows and try to breathe shallow because she's going to see your chest going up and down. So it's trying to change things. It's like I say to my missus sometimes, "Oh, fancy going for a walk? Let's go for a coffee." Same doings, different ask. Changing what you
yeah,
say, changing how you
yeah.
do. Sometimes it's this. So when your daughter comes in from school, something to do this. Come on, or dad, come on. Come
Oh, I do that every day anyway. I always smother her when she
on.
comes in, but yeah, so
Or do a chase catch. You got to chase me, got to catch me together, catch. Wash your head on the side of the coffee table, obviously. But anyway, but yeah. But 1,000 words, Eddie Murphy. Who moved my cheese? Chim paddocks for children. If you parent or not a parent, very important. And just live your best life. Leave things
brilliant.
go. Horses are courses. Don't give up. Don't grow up. Get involved with people like us. Yeah, the more people watching us who interact, comment below, and we can have a group discussion. We can meet in person. I know people around the world. If anybody wants questions, ask you, ask me, ask anybody who is on your podcast or on your channel. If you don't ask, we don't get. Guys, we're in, and gals, we're in this life together. We all have been through the same things. We're all gonna go through the same things at different times, different elements, or whatever. But please, please, please don't forget you. Don't forget looking after yourself. You have to look after yourself. Self-care, from making trifle to shooting a sling to catching a wave to cleaning the car, house, or doing the dishes, or taking our dust off a skirting board. Do it. Do
Steve, you've been absolutely brilliant, my friend. How do people find you online? What's the best place to find you?
I'm in the strip bars on the weekend, and I only messing. But yeah. So my daughter killing me and my missus. So how they find me is Steve Wall Personal Trainer on Instagram, or just Google it. And just Steve Wall, STEVEWALL as in brick wall. Motivation. Steve Wall Bodybuilder, Steve Wall Motivator, Steve Wall PT on Instagram, Facebook, on Google. It'll all come up. Anybody needs anything, I got loads of stuff out there. I think I got 14,000 articles on Instagram and any building. Yeah, I only got like 2 followers, but I don't care. It's not about that. It's about helping people. It's about them, not me. Yeah. So yeah.
Ab-
But thanks for everything. Anything that you need as well. If you want to do another show or another podcast about anything, I'll just be away. I will chew your ears off. I try to listen, but I just 46 years of loving life
Love it.
and challenges.
Love it. No, you've been excellent. And what I'll do is I'll put some links in the show notes so people can just click through and find you easier anyway. So I'll
Awesome.
do that as
And
well. But
what I'd like to ask of people as well who have been following you or whatever is write down what they've learned. What are their 5 lessons of life or 5 tips on life? Write them below. It'd be very important for everybody else who can't ask, who are afraid to ask, who are afraid to type. It might be too shy, like I used to be. Don't be afraid to ask because we won't get anywhere. All
no
right?
worries. Love that.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Aaron.
Steve. All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Take care. Thanks a
You
lot.
too.
Right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, listeners, if you've been enjoying They Not Like Us, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a positive review and subscribe. It might seem like a small thing, but for an independent podcast like this, it makes a huge difference. Your support helps the show get discovered by more people, allowing us to bring on even more amazing guests and continue sharing content that resonates with you. So if today's episode or any past ones have sparked something in you, hit that subscribe button and drop a quick review. Your feedback keeps this community growing, and I'm so grateful to have you along for the ride. Thanks so much.